We apologize for the technical difficulty right there as we are just about moments away from the start of our second race of the season here on Maconi Entertainment for the FLCC, the Full-Length Cup Challenge. We're here at Echo Park Speedway for those who missed the start of tonight's coverage as we get ready to go super speedway racing for 260 laps. Justin Prince Kirkmill's with you, Howie Burrow still in the producer's seat for tonight's coverage. 40 cars ready to duke it out, just moments away from rolling off, Kirk. Let's look quickly through your starting grid. Bobby Anderson, for a second consecutive race, picked himself up on the pole. He'll be alongside Lucas Hoytsma today. Cody Porter will start in third with Matt DeCiani, your top four. Dylan Basin, one of the Tier 2 drivers, had to qualify his way in, and he got fifth along with Sean Conklin in the Ryco camp. Then, row 4, Ralph Hutchinson will start to the inside on tab 2. Derek Heitman will be the driver that will start next to him. Those drivers, 7th and 8th, respectively, for your grid. Your top 10 concludes with Jose Medina and Clayton Hoffman, Kirk.
Starting in 11th will be Dave Hoytsma, and his outside will be Devin Medeiros. Starting in 13th tonight will be Joseph Gulata, and then to their outside will be Paul Gallimore. Starting in the 15th spot will be Stephen Williams, followed by Alex Coffey to his outside. Then you got Jonathan Delaney starting in 17th tonight, with 18th being Robert Miller. 19th, Casey Graves will be rolling off next to Tommy Gossett starting 20th.
Nolan Hodgson starts 21st tonight. Evan Mesnar next to him. Then Nicholas Vrolman, the Conti driver with an EPI logo on the card tonight. It's a long story with Paul Hill. Then it's Wood and Sanner, Avila and Duggar, Owens and Dyson, your top 30.
Starting in 31st tonight, Adam Benefield. To his outside will be the Neil Pearson in the 62. Starting in 33rd tonight will be Cody Johnson in 33rd. 34th will be Tanner Marty. Dustin Hall will start 35th, and 36th will be Jedi Taylor, 36th, who won the FLCC 500 last week. Starting in 37th will be Thomas Kulmacheski in the 88, and to his outside will be Hunter Truel. And rounding out your starters will be Tyler Hunter in 39th and Brandon Hastings in 40th.
Big note for Hastings, by the way. He just made it in tonight. He was at this track 2 hours ago after being a part of Tricon Garage's efforts when it came to the railroad truck race that finished around 4 o'clock in real life time. But, couple notes. First things first, 57 cars tried to qualify in. We had 12 DNQs tonight. Second, the stages are a little interesting. 60, 160, then the end on the distances. So the first stage, you don't need a pit. Stages 2 and 3, you do.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to change the way you want to run this race strictly. They're rolling right now down outside of turn number 2 right now, heading down the back on their pace laps, getting ready for this race to get started. But yeah, we're gonna see this. It's going to be wild now. We got them on the screen here. I think the major thing is trying to survive to the end of this race. It's definitely a war of attrition here.
But there is one key thing. The trend continues to qualify for Anderson. Black Flag Motorsports continue what's been a stellar start to their season when it comes to their super speedway pace, Kirk. But as we know, anybody can win here.
Absolutely. That's the best part of this too, man. You can win anywhere. All right, here we go, folks. Coming through turns 3 and 4, you're just getting run over by a couple cars there on your screen. But coming out of turn number 4, that pace car is going to go ahead and dive down into the pit lane. Here we go. Reach down, pull them belts tight one more time. Through that restart zone. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Down the back straightaway for the first time, Lucas Hoytsma immediately got the jump along the outside to take the lead. He holds on to the bottom in 3 and 4. And as you can see, the struggle is on for the outside line, already losing a lot of momentum to end lap 1.
Yeah, they're just getting settled. They're just trying to get into a position where they can start get into a position where they can control the race. Last year's champion right there, once he got clear of the 5 car, he dropped down so fast, and now he's leading the lines. We saw that all day yesterday in the Friday Night Light Series. That 97 was great at leading lines early on in the race. He had some problems later on, had to come down pit road, but that 97 leading right now shows why he's the 2025 champion of the series.
And looking pretty solid to start things off here. When it comes to this run, super speedways had speed. Of note, Devin Medeiros on the grid had technical issues. He is the only car not with the pack as a result. Expect him to be lapped within the next 5 laps coming up here to start things off. But for a lot of the team side of things here tonight, we'll have to see how the gamesmanship plays out. A lot of a mixture of cars. You talked about some of the Ryko cars. You have black flag machines mixed in. You have some of the Fortress cars and BMP cars amongst those up in the front so far to begin things off. And based on the trends here, Kirk, this is not necessarily a track you want to start a third line because everybody washes up in the corners.
Yeah, it's not. You can go 3 wide early in the run if you really want to, but by the time those tires start wearing out, that third lane becomes just not a real viable option. You kind of got to stay to this 2 wide racing and just work your way through the lanes, gain a run, see if there's a hole on the top side and take that spot quickly. It's going to be a chess match up front. You can see DeCiani, though, on the outside line trying to make the top side move forward, but he has had a hard time of doing so until now. Look at the 84 Basin getting up in front of him. He's a rookie this season. He's raced a lot in iRacing, but for the FLCC, he's kind of new to it, trying to get up to the top line and try to lead this thing early.
Keep in mind, one of the drivers top 5 of the points after the opening race. Although that's not saying a lot since 4 of the top 5 finished in the top 5 at Daytona. The only driver not in the top 5 in points to start off the season who finished in the top 5 was Sean O'Brien. That difference is stage points. There's Medeiros getting lapped, by the way. That's how big the difference is on pace. They're running the 180s in the corners. They're running the 190s at Daytona.
He just clipped the wall a little bit, too, when they were going. But you could see that outside line. They're pushing real hard. You got DeCiani there in the middle. You got the 58 right there. That's Conklin, also kind of new to the series. He's raced a couple one-offs here and there. Same thing with Basin. But now that they're here, they're trying to show that they can, they're not necessarily rookies because you see them racing a lot of other series that are pretty high up. So these guys are good, and they just came over here to try and do the full-length Cup Challenge and show that they, too, can actually try and go out here and compete for championships. But not just them. Another rookie in the series. You see the 04 car on the bottom, 3rd car on the inside line. That's Cody Porter. He didn't race that much last year at all, if any. And so we're going to classify him as a rookie for this race. We had a handful of them. But they're up front. They're trying to show that they can be here, and they deserve to be here.
And he was one of the drivers who did not get to run in the FLCC 500, by the way. So keep in mind, we were talking about this before the race. The times in the qualifying session during the Friday and Saturday were so close that you had to be within 1/10 of a second just to make the top 40 today. Keep in mind, we had all the Tier 1 cars make it, but also we had about 7, 10 plus Tier 2 cars try and make it in. There were a lot of DNQs that missed by just a couple 1,000ths of a second. That's how big the margins are, and there were some big names that didn't even get the chance to race tonight because of qualifying.
Yeah, it's actually scary. Seeing this league grow as fast as it is, drivers like Eric Cheer Jr., he won the Clash, and he's not in this race. He didn't qualify. So you can win a race in this series, and even though you might have won something, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to race next week. You got to make it constantly. You got to have a fast car and be on top of it if you want to win a championship in the FLCC. It's just that's why it's just that more competitive. It reminds me a little bit of like what it was like in NASCAR in the old days. If you only the top 28 charters exist, but if you're someone who's not a part of that Tier 1 side of things, it's going to be so hard to go for a championship.
Yeah, some of the other notable names that missed the show: Charles Wembley, Corey Moore missed it by 8 1,000ths to Cody Johnson. Alex Princeton missed the show. Among some of the others, Jeremy Brown, Wesley Napier, Cliff Mullins. A few of the names just mentioned there raced in the FLCC 500 with the way the duels went. Look at how big the banking is here with Atlanta. But remember, they increased the banking. They first renovated this racetrack and repaved it. That's why there's so much speed carried in the corners here. It's similar to that of Daytona when you think about it with the amount of G's you carry around this track because of the way this circuit has the speed carried out around with the banking.
Well, yeah, DeCiani just got shuffled out. You're on board with him right now. He's on the top side, 3 wide, a place you don't want to be. Sorry to interrupt you there, man, but that 4 car, he was running second car on the outside line, but now he's dropped outside the top 20. That's how fast things can change here at Echo Park.
Yeah, and the big thing is, we had a big shuffle up the field, by the way. Contact Jose Medina is getting shuffled in the 40 car. Right now, Evan Mesnard to the outside. They are scattered everywhere. Here's the thing that might be borderline. That 92 of Hoffman for Altis cut across part of the red line. You cannot cross that tonight to gain position.
Yep, that's a good point. You absolutely cannot pass. It's a big thing that they made because yesterday that was not a rule. You can go below the red and at the last lap, which was not something the race officials liked. So because of that, in this race, they are absolutely making that red line a no-go zone.
You can see it because that apron is 3 lanes deep. That's the widest apron you'll see on the service at this point. So it's understandable. And it's, keep in mind, there is a big thing we're noticing already with the tire work, Kirk, because tire work can be significant here. Everybody's washing off the bottom, running half a lane up the bottom into the entries.
Yeah, Andrew Dyson just lost a handful of spots as well. He was running 14th last time by, but this time by, he's dropped back all the way to 27th. You drop by so quick, and it's mostly just because you washed up the track, you hit the wall, and then you're done. Not to mention these cars are on the edge of control. If they go into the corner just slightly off, the car will get loose and spin out in front of the field. They won't be able to finish the race because they're wrecked out. It's just something that happens in Atlanta. I love this new thing they did. I like the old Atlanta still as well, but this kind of changed the way things are run, and I still find it so entertaining what they did. It created a new form of super speedway that no one's ever really seen before, and I really enjoy it.
Good start, by the way, if you're Ralph Hutchinson, and for a majority of the black flag machines here tonight. See some of them working their way up like the 19 in these shots. You also have some of the others like Anderson still riding second, getting the chance to save. And we have a car loose with a lot of sliding. One of the Chevys taking a cut to the grass. Miller cuts the course. No caution, we stay green as Robert Miller takes a ride.
Yeah, Robert Miller, man, he didn't get paid to mow the grass this week, but he decided to do it for free. He did it down the front straightaway, somehow got too loose and was not able to hang on to things. But up front still, you can see that 97 of Hoytsma, the 5 car. Bobby Anderson, you're on board with that left front tire of Bobby Anderson. He's the owner of the league, and he got the pole. That has nothing to do with the owner of the league stuff, but it's still kind of cool to see that, you know, you could own something like this and still be competitive at a high level as well.
Yeah, and be able to contend, especially since the Super Speedway package seems to be right on the point here. I believe they're part of the Ryko side tonight in terms of the setup balance this evening. The Ryko cars are also building speed up to lead the second line with all 3 of the Team House cars up on groove number 2. Derek Heitman also part of that line. I will want to put a little focus to the 95 tonight because we mentioned a little fact, because for the first time this season, there's a paint scheme on Nicholas Vroman. He also, for whatever reason, chose a Toyota tonight. Now, there's a complicated backstory to this, but I'll sum it up as this. He explained that for this series, he's a part of Team Conti, but doesn't necessarily need to run the setups from Team Conti. He's got an EPI logo for reference on his car tonight. He described this as, I quote, being a baby left outside of a firehouse and looking for a brand new home. Whatever home it's left outside of, I will run it. In our words, Roman's basically run whatever's fastest, still going to help out the Conti side for the team side.
I mean, this is the first week I've ever seen him not wear that eyesore, and I am glad. I like his new paint scheme. That looks cool. It has that John Deere color to it. Obviously, it's not something that, we see them in all the time. Normally, it's that thing that just is an eyesore, but now you got Farming Simulator 25 on it as a sponsor, and I think it's just kind of nice. I'm glad that purple card's gone. We'll see, however long it may take for it to come back. I hope it doesn't, but we'll see.
Yeah, all of this as well. For the race lead, Dylan Basin takes it, and now the 84 is up as the Pied Piper with Conklin trying to also join in the fray with Tommy Gossett. There goes Basin, though, to help out with momentum. The Pied Piper effect to help out all the Ryko cars.
Wow, 3 Gossett cars clear all the way to the lead. That is Tommy Gossett, Sean Conklin, and then, of course, Dylan Basin. Just the Ryko guys just decided, you know what, we'll control this race. But the 97 saying, no, I ain't going to let that happen. He goes up to the top side, tries to get up towards the front, but he has no help. 76 of Heitman is not there.
Yeah, right now, Heitman not able to get to the bumper of the 97, now does. And so far, Heitman's looked okay to start off the season, but it is super speedway racing. We know Heitman going to be contender for the mile and a halves. But Conklin, we've seen him contend at Daytona. He and all these other cars on that inside line leading out were contenders in your top 4 spots on the racetrack before incidents came into play last time out, Kirk. Now, it's about, can you get yourself good stage points and set the tone for stage 2?
You got to be in position to be able to get those stage points, like you just said. I think that getting to the top 10 is going to be the utmost priority for most of these guys who are Tier 1, charters. That they know that they can win a championship this season. They won't have a shot at, 19 had to check up a little bit there on the inside line. He got a little loose. But, yeah, I got to tell you, these guys that are out here, I find it so dang interesting to see how easy it is for them to go from the back to the front. Tommy Gossett started 20th in this race, and within 20 laps, he went from 20th all the way up to 3rd. I mean, that's pretty dang good.
I mean, that shows the strength of the car, but also his ability to pick out lines at a track that's, for everybody else, been hard to find spots to gain. Some of the other bigger gainers so far today. +9, Jonathan Delaney. We've talked about Vroom Vroom, +12 so far. +10 if you're a Pearson in the heart of the field. Just about every other car has gained 2-3 spots at the very most. Here's an interesting wrinkle that I just got confirmation for in terms of what to watch for with the tier side of things. We talked about some of the drivers with Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, in terms of how that impacts for qualifying and the eligibility to make the races here. And some of those here in the field, like Basin is a Tier 2. Like we've already seen with Gossett, he is a Tier 2. With Conklin, he's a Tier 3. That won't change during the season. It's not likely, as Race Control has emphasized, for the season. So every single week, those 3 cars up at the front, they can have some of the best speed on the track. They have to qualify their way in the hard way.
Yeah, I actually prefer that. You know, the way we got a lapper here on the top side. 15, remember, he went through the grass a handful of laps ago. He's now getting passed by the field on the top side. It's always a little sketchy when they go 3 wide, which is why I had to mention it. But I got to tell you, you're absolutely right. I prefer to see these cars have to qualify their way in every week in and week out. Because then you only get those that are competitive each week showing up. And if you want to win the championship, you have to be competitive week in, week out. And, you know, I understand folks want to make sure that they have the chance to make it, so they develop this charter system to be able to make sure you're guaranteed a spot. I don't necessarily like it, but it's something that they do now in modern day. And, you know, I don't have to like it. It's really fun. It's a way to make those people that put in the money, try to, you know, grow the series, get a guaranteed spot. These top 3 guys, they did not get Tier 1 charters. But we know they're fast. And right now, early in this one, they're showing that speed. Now, the longer this goes, we'll have to see what their race looks like, because they might be fast early, something might happen, you never know. But if they're up front controlling this whole race, that just shows that it doesn't matter what tier you are. As long as you're fast week in and week out, you might be able to win a championship. And I think that would be kind of cool to see a Tier 2, Tier 3 guy win the championship at the end of the year. That would really kind of show that that person deserves it.
And it's going to be for them making sure if you're off, you're likely off for the championship for the point standings. So much pressure as a result. By the way, a few drivers up on the top line. Most of this field, they've now moved into a choo-choo train effect. So everybody's just sticking to the bottom. But look at this, as we're talking about with the issues here, a lot of the cars are, even though they're trying to stick to that red line, a lot of them are just not comfortable to be able to do that with the wash-up effect. That's going to potentially cause problems in intense racing later when you have those drivers pushing a full lane and a half up in some of these circumstances.
You know, if they really want to save tire and they want to use it right, I mean, I still have the thought that if you get in line on the bottom and you're a part of this giant line, just go ahead and go up to the wall. Oh, goodness, up front.
Yeah, Conklin hit the apron, got some problems, and that's broken up the group. Conklin moved up to the top. That was because he washed up and pushed down the track, got bumped by Gossett through two, and then had to save it. That's now forced the entire group to reset. Let's take a look at this again. This is after the slide through turn two.
Yeah, that 97 just shows why he's a champion. He went up there once that door was open. He took advantage of it and split up those guys. But now take a look up front. The Gossett guys decide they want to split the lead right now live on screen. 84 Basin takes the top side and the 58 of Conklin takes the bottom. So now they control both top and bottom lines.
We'll see how fast they try and get themselves sorted back out. All of this as well. Some of the errors like Hoffman. Oh! Basin 3 wide. Heitman says, no thank you. I'm just going to take the middle. Thank you very much. And zips on by.
That's awesome. He made a move. That's for sure. I mean, you might be able to control some races, but it's very difficult to do that with the FLCC guys. They want to lead all the way through this thing. They want to get a chance at these stage points, but they're not wrecking each other either so far. Pretty good so far. You never, but it could happen. Remember, this stuff could always be right around the corner. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, right now, this pack is racing fairly intense, knowing they can make the distance. We're past the halfway point by a few laps, mind you. Here in the stage, Conklin now holding on to the top side. Some of the others like Galata are joining into the fray, by the way. Paul Hill's now up 17. The Bigfoot cars are saying, let's take this free real estate while it's wild and take some spots as well, because both of them, Hill and Galata, have synced up on that top line, are looking for a hole to get through this.
It's free real estate. I freaking love that. That's a good reference, man. I gotta tell you.
Was that you whispering?
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure it's free. Yes, I thought so. I thought I was hearing things.
No, that was it. That's it. It's free real estate. Oh, good Lord. It's starting to get a little antsy. And that 4 car goes up to the top lane. And he's going to drop back out. He's not going to be able to hang on to it there. But up front, you can see they're all over the place.
Yeah, right now they are still staying pretty intense here. Delaney, we talked about his moves to the field. It's cutting through so far on the pack for the 6. Delaney, one of the top super speedway racers last year, Kirk.
Yeah, you're right. Delaney, one of those guys that's able to win races. Last year he had a problem, though, early in the season where he wasn't able to make it to the finish. But I got to tell you, at the end, he's able to, clean up, and had a chance at the championship there at the end. But, that 6 car, he's always got speed. It's always fun to watch him, and he is now second car in the bottom lane. You can see him right there trying to push the 97. But take a look at this outside line. You got Hoffman now, new car in the third car in the outside lane now, second car in the outside line, trying to push Heitman, teammates, up to his front. They're wrecking on the back straightaway. There's cars wrecking. The 8 cars around, multiple cars spinning. The 19, the 73 of Mesnard, the 15 car of Robert Miller, all wrecking on the back straightaway.
Caution flags out for the first time tonight, and a lot of fast cars or a lot of destroyed. Mesnard with damage of note, but you seen it first there, Kirk. I'm pretty certain there was a squeeze into the wall after the 6 got hit from the bottom and pushed to the top, was it not?
Tommy Gossett gave a shove to the back of Delaney, who made contact, and behind them it was a reaction, just trying to get to a position where they didn't have to, check up as hard, and that's where the contact happened. Take a look at the 8 car. He's going to give that 6 car shot right there, and that's going to get him loose, send him up to the outside line, and these guys just had nowhere to go. I see about 6 or 7 cars. Hate to use that 6-7 name, but 6 or 7 cars involved in that right there. Got the 26 of Paul Hill, the 6 car Delaney. Joseph Galana in the 99 got a little bit of damage. The 95 of Nicholas Vroman gets some heavy front end damage. You got the 19 car involved, the 8 Tommy Gossett, Alex Coffey gets contact, Robert Miller, Ralph Hutchinson, Evan Mesnard. All these guys are going to have to come back from all this damage. But remember, these guys are driving tanks. These guys can probably get the damage fixed and get back out there. Bobby Anderson involved as well. I see Paul Gallimore, Nolan Hodgson, Matt DiCiani. It was kind of a lot of cars.
Now, only 2 cars have said, who needs tires? We're at a super speedway. Every other car has elected to come down and take service. We know they can make it on the distance because the fuel mileage is about 65, 70 laps with it being Atlanta. However, here comes the question, how well will those 2 up front hold on with older rubber of more than 30 laps, especially when you factor in how difficult it's going to be for them to grip up? Same for Truell, Hastings, and Wood, who were at the very back and stayed out too.
Yeah, these guys that were in the back were waiting for precisely this. They wanted to wait for the first big wreck, and then if they were going to stay out, that's exactly what they ended up doing. We saw that 16 car win his dual race earlier in the season, and to be able to make the FLCC 500 just a couple weeks ago. But now he's out there, he's in a top 5 position because he's decided to do this strategy. Same thing with Brandon Hastings, Hunter Truell. And then you got the 2 guys up front, Conklin and Basin, that were just ahead of already, and they decided that, I'll take tires later, save a set for the end, right? I think that's what this is all about, saving a set of tires. You only get 8 of them to make it 260 laps, and that's the goal, I think, out of the gate for these guys. But I am stunned by the amount of hard racing up front. Normally you see a lot of riding around at Echo Park. These guys don't want to push very hard. They want to make it to the end, but no, they want to lead every lap of this thing, and that made it so freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, now we get ready for a restart. It's Conklin and Basin setting things up with Truell alongside Hastings, Wood. Then it's Heitman, who is the first out of pit road. All this as well. We still have all cars in it except for DiCiani. We have a wreck up at the front under caution.
Whoa!
Just heard some calls over the radio because we have a scatter of cars on the bottom. And someone has gone around.
I think it might be...
Yeah.
Was it Hastings?
Heitman and a couple others are laughing because I think we had a tech issue. Yeah, I can confirm. The car that was in 4th blinked out and got turned. Brandon Hastings.
That doesn't make any sense.
Actually, it's even worse. He turned right in the corner.
He didn't. It looks like he got hit by a ghost.
What did Hastings do?
Nothing.
Did he money shift?
No, he got hit by a ghost. Earnhardt's back on the track wrecking people again. Good God.
Now, it wasn't a tech issue. It just got a confirmation for. He left the sim in embarrassment, I think, as he spun around with an Alt F4. So, the Conti cars are having a busy night for the comedic side. But we're about to see how old tires now fare out. With Heitman, now row 2, we're back underway.
God, I can't believe what I just saw. That was wild, but now that outside line's going to be no man's land. This inside line, I think, is where people are going to try to get to quickly. But those that got fresh tires want to get around these old tires as quick as humanly possible. The 76 of Heitman's dropping back like a rock.
Hold on, penalty. Conklin changing lanes. Start and finish line. Conklin said, yep, I know. So Conklin will no longer be the leader.
Yeah, he'll have to come down pit road. Watch this. This is unique about Echo Park. You got to pit on the back straightaway. It's different than anywhere I've ever seen. Come off turn 2 here. He's got to go below the red, slam on the brakes, and get the pit road speed before that line, before the front straightaway. So you can go as fast as you want through here. Just don't spin the car out and don't go back up on the racetrack or go above that white line, and you'll be fine.
So that just lost all the help, by the way, for Basin on the old tire strategy. Lucas Hoytsma is the first on freshies, and yeah, that's pretty clear. That is well and truly above the line he can cross.
Yeah, it's a learning pain. You know, you're new to the series. These guys are very serious about their about how they want their league to be run, and whenever you make a mistake like that, it is obvious. I've done it myself in the Friday Night Lights series. It happens a lot. It can happen to anybody.
And so, all this as well, Basin's doing a good job on the older rubber, withstanding the pressure. Conklin will lose a lap here as they zip around. Truex losing ground on the bottom side. In fact, the 71 is struggling to be able to really get much help. Wood, who is on the same strategy behind him, Dave Hoytsma, not necessarily the ones that we normally would see up towards the front are trying to lead the bottom. Tommy Gossett now leads the bottom, and Basin comes to help him.
Oh, the wreck at turn 2 right now. The 62 of Pearson's around. The 04 of Porter's making contact. The 63 of Avila hard into the outside wall. You got the 26, the 30 William Owens there. Mesnard more contact. And we got our second caution in a row. Cautions breeding cautions in the first stage.
So, 30 of Owens stuck on the track. We're back under caution. Cody Johnson, the spark.
Now, let's take a look at this right here. The 04. Oh, no, right there. Contact sends the 62 around and then got rear-ended there by Tanner Marty. Also a little bit of damage for the 29. Didn't really get a great shot of what happened there. Let's see if we can get another angle. Who's that in the middle there? Let's find out who's in that middle spot.
Yeah, Owens had to wait for the field to go by to get back going after right here. Cody Johnson did make contact with a 30 after all this, either way.
It looks like the car that went in the middle was Cody B. Johnson. Again, that's what we're talking about there, the 80 car. He got Dyson loose. He went up to the top, and so Cody B. Johnson in the 08, actually, should say, was the one that brought out that caution there after contact with the 62.
And then, I think it was more actually Benefiel. I know it was originally hurt in the ear, or Johnson. But the 30 did lose a lap. So, under caution, as we will regroup and have drivers like Paul Hill come down for repairs, Mesnard, Porter, and a few others. As we said here around this track, it's a very, very, very strict pit entry here with it turn 3. There has been already one confirmation from the race meetings coming into tonight. If you show your hand of pitting and you go below that commitment box into turn 3, you cannot fake it out and go back to the racing surface again. You have to pit. So, if you make that decision for the back straightaway, you have to commit.
You know, speaking of that, you know, this caution actually helped one driver significantly, and we just saw him make the mistake on that last restart, Sean Conklin. He's going to be back on the lead lap after all this. That 58 car is coming around right now, and he's back on the lead lap. All of this because of that caution helping him out. But you're right, that back straightaway, you can't fake anybody out. You can't go down there and then go back out. It's not like Daytona. Actually, it's not like I don't even know what tracks you could do that at anymore. I'm trying to remember. I think it would be something like the mile and a halfs more often than not.
So we'll have to find out how much Conklin can charge through in less than 10 laps here. The drivers, how they fare on old tires for reference. Basin first, Truex 5th, Wood 7th. Hastings has also apologized for his issue that was underpacing the last restart situation. Hastings, for his sake, is the last car in the race after his situation, 2 laps down. But we're coming up to 1 degree. And right now, the Ryko cars, the Basin and Gossett up front, Hoytsma and Heitman, Drill and Hoffman, Wood and Galata, Medina and Dave Hoytsma are the way things are sorted out amongst your top 10 competitors here. And this is going to be pretty busy on this restart. You'd have to think here. Do you expect some people to try a third line here off the jump, or does it stay 2x2?
Yeah, it just depends on how desperate they are for stage points. I mean, some folks are willing to risk it all on a stage restart, stage point. But I don't think it's a good idea. If you're a guy like the 16 car, you know, you've been out there 52 laps, you're not going to make any moves. You're going to stay on the bottom. You're going to try not to spin the car out. You're on very old tires. These things are practically rubber that are going to be like driving on ice. You know, it's not going to be the same thing. You got more cars in that position. Like the leader, Dylan Basin. He's going to have a difficult time. He's got only one friend to his outside, but outside of that, he has nobody else in that front group that's going to probably be willing to step up and help him. So everybody else wants this stage win, these Tier 1 drivers especially. I think you want to keep an eye on the 97 of Hoytsma or the 76 of Heitman. These two guys, I think, might have a chance to capitalize. We'll see how it goes as the pace car dives in and we get this restart back underway here in a moment.
Back to the restart zone. Green, green, green. We're back on our way inside line. Really, the control car got the jump. Everybody else stayed on the same lane. But there's a lot of gaps on the bottom. Hoytsma has no help on the inside right now because all the other Ryko cars moved to the top. 5-car bump draft on top of that doesn't work. Heitman's around, Hoytsma's around. Here goes Galata, and there goes the field. We're under caution.
Dave Hoytsma involved, the 97 of Lucas Hoytsma, and the 76 of Derek Heitman. Both cars I thought were going to go for the win of this thing, involved in an accident, and I just can't believe what I just saw. That's another huge wreck, third crash in the first stage. What is going on this afternoon?
Well, the field's very riled up. It's been opposite of a freight train today. It's been more like a little bit of a demolition derby early on, as you see the traffic and everybody piles on into the train.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get a list of all these people that have contacts, but it looks like this all stemmed from a push from the back of the 92, pushing into the back of the 76, Derek Heitman and Clayton Hoffman. That's where all this stemmed from. Just one little push, and the 76 hit the back bumper of the 8 car right there, and that got him upset. Then the 92 finished him off. So, and then heavy front end hit. I mean, that's going to be hard to come back. These cars are tanks, but that was a heavy front end impact for him. So I'd say the involved drivers, 76 of Heitman, you got Clayton Hoffman, Lucas Hoytsma, Galata involved as well. The 40 car gets a little bit of damage up on the outside line. I believe that's Jose Medina. Hunter Truel, Paul Gallimore, Derek Heitman, of course. We already talked about him. The more cars that were just sliding into this. Cody B. Johnson kind of did not check up as much as everybody else around him. One car I'd like to ride on board with. Can we ride on board with the 10 car of Alan Duggar through that wreck? Because he missed it, and he did it in a way that it was just kind of crazy. If we can go from the driver's view of the 10 car, I think we'll get one heck of a shot.
Well, things gathered up on that, but Duggar, for reference,
10, yep, that's right.
10 is up 21 spots, by the way, after that incident. We'll have a restart with under 4 to go. This is from the
Further back.
pacing. We'll try and get that queued up as much as we can. So, take a look at this now.
There we go. That's not the 10 car. There we go. Let's take a look. Watch this right here. This is going to be a wild view from a driver standpoint. Where are you going to go?
2, 3.
And the walls open up. He didn't hit anybody.
Outside of a scrape to the left front, his car is clean. So the Ryko machine survives. Saying a lot of that brand tonight, let's put it that way, in terms of their presence already, making a statement after contending last time and coming up short with the Black Flag Motorsports cars coming up on top. But Speaking of those cars, your favorite is third, Matthew David Wood. He's been holding firm on the old tires. He's now up in third in 16 car inside row 2.
Yeah, Matthew David Wood, he's kind of my go-to for this season. He's kind of my underdog pick. I like him a lot. But yeah, no, he missed that wreck by inches, literal inches. He was almost squeezed up into the wall, but he missed it. Got up to a third place spot. Remember, he's on really old tires. Same thing as, I believe it was Conklin, but I think that Conklin may have pitted. Did he pit? He was the one that had a penalty. I'm sorry, Basin was who I was thinking about. Yeah, but that 16 car, I think this season is going to be interesting for him. So far, so good, but, you know, anything can happen to anybody.
Yeah, the competition level this season's definitely ramped up when you have people like Basin compete, who normally, in terms of top split action, is a top 10 driver. But we're coming up to a 4-lap dash, and we have already seen how discombobulated that inside line has been. Even when they've timed up the start with the leader, just nobody has really gotten going behind the control car. And we also likely know that 84 will probably move up in front of the 8, try and take the momentum. Look who's in forfeit all this, by the way. Jose Medina's up there.
Wow, he was involved in that wreck. He got up in the wall a little bit. He's got a little bit of damage. 41 has front end damage on his nose. Dyson, he tried to go for a championship, but he's got front end damage. Look out, this restart's going to be a little wild. Here we go. Going to get back underway. We got, what is it, 3 laps to go on the stage?
4 laps, to be specific, this time through. Watch for if there's a blend. There's the blend up. There's the move in. Had to move back down. The gap was too big because Wood timed it up perfectly. Basin now blocks him off. Here comes Paul Gallimore, who's been quiet. And to start, he's looking to get loud.
Where the heck did he come from? This is just wild stuff. Paul Gallimore. I like him a lot, but he almost had a chance to win a couple races. But in the last couple corners, he was got past. So it'd be cool to see him do well, but they're giving pushes at that 16. There he goes to the bottom. Wow, there he goes, Matthew David Wood for the lead, side by side with Dylan Basin. All right.
No one to push him, though. Basin's got the help from Gossett when the run comes. Now Gallimore helps out the 16. Coming up to 2 laps to go on the stage. Pit road closing coming up. Basin's got the better runs as he blocks off the top. Now tries to push with Gossett getting the run on the top shelf. They work their way through the front straightaway. Gallimore only got to the bumper past the start and finish line. That top line has the runs, and Basin covers off the momentum now for the backstretch.
There's cars trying to make a third lane work back there. I see Vroman trying to do something, but up front, that's what the battle's all for right here. 16 trying to make it to the bottom, but 84 cuts him off.
Still playing the lines, coming up to 1 to go. Stage 1, our shortest stage of the night. Basin up front. Wood needs some bit of help here to clear on by Gossett and then get a push. He's gotten the clearance part. Now can he find a run? No, he got loose instead. Gallimore moves up in caution.
8 car got spun, but up front, they're still green. No caution yet. No caution. They're going to let him race back. Oh, we just got the caution back out. Sorry, the ATO did not show that quite as fast as we'd hope. But Dylan Basin's going to win the stage right here.
So it's Basin who will win stage number 1. Wood, Gallimore, Duggar, Taylor, Dyson, Komacheski, Graves, Medina, Hunter, Benefiel are amongst your top 11. Hunter, the last who scored the stage points. Let's take a look at those numbers as how they crossed at the time of the caution flag with the scoring loops. The only car that got spun on that incident was Tommy Gossett, and Gossett's front nose is demolished from it.
Yeah, 8 car got loose off of turn number 2 and overcorrected into the outside wall. The 40 car, Jose Medina, also got a heavy amount of front end damage, but everyone else avoids it. I'm looking at more cars in the back to see if there's any more. I think that 74 Chad Center may have hit the inside wall a little bit, but no, I think that they're okay. Everybody else, very little to no damage. I think that we might have to triple check the stage 1 results, because if that caution flew, it would be at the moment of caution. So
correct.
We'll have to see to make sure that list might not be accurate for the time. So we'll have to wait and see. No, yeah, no, you're okay,
So,
Howie. You don't no need to worry about
again, so it's unofficial, again, is the key word you're saying in that situation because of the way the
Yep.
loops now go. So race control will look at that. Medina and Delaney did not take the pit stop here, by the way. Everybody else has come down. Duggar took a fuel-only stop for those who did peel down pit road. So a lot of different strategies popping up here as drivers take fuel-onlys down the lane and try and manage the tire sets. We've seen at the top of the broadcast 7 tire sets tonight, which sounds like a lot, especially for super speedway racing, but this is a cheese grater of a racetrack, remember. So you start thinking about the green flag stops here, at least 2 sets a stage. It has to be the ballpark from here. At least 5 or 6 sets would be used tonight, plus the spare.
Oh man, it's these wrecks are kind of making this race feel like it's going to go longer. Last year in the spring at Atlanta, we didn't get that. It was a bunch of clean green for the entire first part of this race. But now these cars are in a position where it's been just chaos. And so, I mean, they got to take a second to realize what's going on and calm down, all right? But Medina's nose up here in the front, if you take a look at it, it just has a broken front end. He's leading the race. And that's not a good sign when you have the leader of the race have a bunch of front end damage.
Now, at some tracks, we'd be able to speak with your stage winner, but this is a quickie yellow racetrack. He's about to take one to green already. So, Medina has chosen the bottom, and he's about to find out how hurt that car is. Coming up to lap 64 when we take the green flag. Delaney on the outside. Then it's Duggar and Conklin. Vroom Vroom and Kolmacheski in your top 6. Hill and Benefiel. Wood and Basin are your top 10. Your first that took a set. Wood, Basin, and Jason S. Taylor, your winner from the FLCC 500. And keep in mind, Jason S. Taylor made it clear that it was resiliency that kept Black Flag going, and remember, added a lot of drivers coming into the season opener, absorbing the RHM drivers. They've started out with a bang on this season. You have to give those cars credit. We've seen with Lucas Hoytsma, for example, before the attrition built up. So I'm curious, which team do you think is going to take the control in Stage 2?
Based on what we've seen so far, Gossett's pretty dang set up right here. They got a lot of guys from the team Gossett that is just like somehow I mean, the Ryko guys, it should say Ryko.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I look at Gossett on the side of the cars.
It is his family sponsors part of the team.
I see. So the Ryko guys. Okay, so I gotta make sure I get it right. I'm still learning. But yeah, the Ryko guys. They were able to control that whole entire first stage, but they had problems with a couple guys. But remember, at the beginning of the first stage, 20th place to the third to get into that lineup. So I think that's not going to matter as we get back underway to start stage number 2.
Here we go, green, and look at that. The 40 starting to try and get going, but you see that difference compared to the others. Not as big of a jump compared to some of the leaders. Duggar does get boxed in, but the Conti car, or rather the Ryko cars, all get themselves to the bumper, and Medina's coming down to the apron and pitting? No, he's letting the field go.
Yeah, he knew he had damage. He knew he didn't have what it took to stay up front, so he knew he had to get out of the way. I hate to see it, though. He probably should have came down. That was his best opportunity. But look at this. Thomas Kolmacheski, where did he come from? Second car on the outside line, that 88 car. He's always aggressive early run. I like seeing it. He's trying to push that 6-car Delaney to make it work on the outside as he got both Ryko guys on the bottom trying to make it work. Sean Conklin, of course, and Duggar.
Kolmacheski, 37 to 3rd last time by at the stripe, by the way. So one of the drivers on the second to last row have rocketed their way through with no damage on their Beast Mode performance car to get themselves in the conversation here. Now, the tough part, getting clear to try and lead this race with Duggar holding on with some help on the inside. A bit of a bobble there off the 54. And Delaney now getting clear in front.
He drops down in front of those Ryko cars, and now he leads the bottom lane. And be weary of this outside line. Will the 26 of Hill decide to try and work with the 88? Or is he going to just try and ride and make that outside line fade away? We'll see. You can see someone trying the third lane up there. Didn't quite stick that long, but they're trying to make that outside line work. But remember, that 26 pushing, he's an aggressive pusher. Last year, a lot of guys got turned off the front bumper. Be careful there as Gossett car goes up to the top. That's Conklin trying to get by in that Ryko car. Decides to go to the top.
You see right now, trying to get the squeeze. As we see, some of the Conti Camp machines also are in the mix here. Benefield, for example, we've seen him a little bit of contact earlier, has kept a clean nose. One of the top drivers from Michael Conti's squad looking to roll the bottom, but Duggar just moved up to the top, got shuffled, trying to stay in front of Conklin, and the 10 is electing to drop back.
I mean, that was amazing. That it didn't look forced. That's not normal. It looked like he went up to the top and expected the car behind him to go with him, but I don't think it happened.
I think, based on that, I think he just took the wider arc coming out of the corner and said, I don't like how this is going. I want to keep this car clean. He's already had to dodge one big one, or as it is, he lets him go.
Yeah, that was very unorthodox. You expect them to try and lead all the race. This is unusual, unexpected. But that outside line's now starting to fade a little bit. Maybe it was a good thing he got out of the way.
Yeah, might have started to feel a little bit of a sense of urgency that's picking up some of the cars and wants to stay out of it. Cody Johnson, by the way, is up there too now at the bottom. Has a lot of different comers and goers here. Komacheski shuffled out by Hill. Komacheski losing most of his help, so the top line has dissipated as this field now takes its calm tone. Remember, we do have to pit under green if we get a run here. Green light for the stint, about 40 laps in to be comfortable, about 35 laps in to be at the edge of the fuel tank, in theory. So, there's still a few laps until we get to that point. These laps click off quickly though. 30 seconds a lap goes by fast here at Echo Park.
I still call it Atlanta. I put dollars in that jar every single week. Don't worry about it. Echo Park is kind of a difficult one to remember, but we'll do it. Remember, we got Lowe's Motor Speedways 10, 20 years ago. Oh, man. I don't like these checkups I'm seeing here on the screen. That outside line just is really losing all of its momentum, dropping back quite a bit. The outside line leader is the 84 Basin, but he's not really getting much help from Komacheski at all. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, right now, that line just not really as sorted out as some would hope. Now, let's talk about last night a little bit, because some of the drivers do double duty, who also like to run that different car. It was the Baby Tona 250 last night. Benefield was the pole sitter. Jacob Simpson, as you called last night, Kirk, picked up the win in that one over Jeremy Brown, who was a DNQ for this race. Benefield, Kevin Zosiak, another DNQ, and Joseph McWhorter. How do you describe how things went down last night for Friday Night Lights?
You know, it was really clean. The first stage, second stage, I think we only had one caution for a wreck. But, I mean, it's night and day difference between that and the FLCC here today. These guys have been kind of chaotic, but I'm starting to get a sense of a little bit more, at least awareness of what's going on. They still got the two-wide racing going on, and they're about to pass a lap car here. Be weary of that. Look at that 40 car. Jose Medina, remember him? He just got passed right there on the outside. He's going to be three wide going into the corner with a few lanes. But like I was saying, the Friday Night Lights series is entertaining beyond all heck. Got a lot of great guys up there, and there are no charters that can give you a guaranteed spot in the Friday Night Lights. So if you show up to that race and you got a fast car, you're probably going to be in it. Yeah, that's how it works. You don't get a chance to win a championship there unless you're fast week in and week out. And that's why I like it a lot. I still think it's a great series for the cars that want to develop and get to the point where they can race up here in the top tier of the full-length Cup Challenge. Friday Night Lights is a perfect opportunity for anybody interested to do that. And it's a great league. I raced it all season last year. A lot of great drivers, and you get to race with some of the FLCC guys to come down and bushwhack a little bit, but it's still fun to watch.
By the way, as the point was finished up there, the top line started to struggle. The grip levels, yet again, are going away. Watch Mason's rear tires. Off the corner exit here. He is twitching off the rear. Delaney's taking the chance to move up here, but some of these cars are starting to really have problems off turn 2 where, remember, when it came to old Atlanta/Echo Park, there were big issues for drivers off of 2 either spinning to the inside or drifting up the racetrack.
Okay, I think you're absolutely right. The longer the tires will go, they'll want to drift up. That's just how it is. I still think that if you're in the top 3 cars and you're clear, go up to the top lane and then go back down, arc it. But look at that. Delaney gets shoved up to the outside line. He's going straight to the back. Look out, guys. Oh, not quite. He found a hole right behind the 84. Decides to pull in line.
There is a factor we haven't touched upon yet, Kirk, that will also play into how these lines work out. As you know...
Sorry, that's the 16 car. Yeah, the 16 car dove it in the middle, trying to make it 3 wide. That 88 got shuffled out to the outside line, and he's dropping back like a rock. I'm sorry to interrupt, but man, that was sketchy looking at the 16 car.
That's what happens when you leave a door with this package. You have the bottom or middle line open up, you get moved out of that line. But I was about to say, one of the things some of these drivers are going to have to be concerned about is taking the air off the spoiler. I know last year's race and last year's big events like ERA Omega Cup competition, there was a big pileup because someone was running too close to the back bumper of somebody off of turn 2, got them loose, and it caused about a 20-car pileup.
Just takes 2. In most cases, it only just takes 1. One mistake by a driver on their own can take out the entire field. You might have the best day of your life, but at the end of the day, somebody else can take you out, and that's the heartbreaking part of this super speedway stuff. And from the Friday Night Lights series, they call it the Baby Daytona 250 because this is like the child of Daytona if they ever had one. It's so different though. It's not the same. You still got to control the cars, and you need to. The cars are just on edge all the time. But look at that car in the 83, Benefield. I am kind of excited to see him up towards the front. I didn't expect to see that very early on, but I think it's kind of cool. He's in a position now where he went from 31st on the starting grid all the way up to 3rd. That tells you that he's got a fast car, and now he's up front, has a chance to take advantage of it.
Here's the biggest movers yet again to check in on that mark. Tyler Hunter's actually moved up a fair bit of spots here. He's in the top 10. One of the EPI cars, up 30. Jason S. Taylor. He's also moved up to the top 10. Jedi.
The 16's in the wall.
7th. Well,
16, the wood. Oh, God darn it. He got up into the outside wall. I think he made contact. Car looks okay, but he's going to lose a lot of time here. He might go a lap down.
I think he got loose. Watch this replay and watch the correction right here.
Oh. Yeah, that car is just so loose the longer it is. And he was in a rough spot too. Dirty air. But looks like he's going to probably lose a lap because of that. Hopefully he can get the damage repaired and fixed and get back out there. But he's going to have to hope for a caution rather soon if he wants to have a shot here of trying to stay on the lead lap.
And that's why the front of the field's making it clear. Let's just stay in a choo-choo train and survive. We have pit stops after all. But a few of the other drivers are taking this chance to gain some track position. Hutchinson, who was involved in one of the earlier incidents, he's back up, for example, with track position. William Owens, who was beached and stuck on the racetrack waiting for the field to go by in one of the Precision Speed Solutions sponsored cars, he's in the choo-choo train amongst this top 15 right now also. A lot of these cars are taking the chance on making sure with them picking the lines here to be able to set themselves up for a good spot for when they peel down to pit stops pretty soon.
Yeah, the 6-car Delaney, who was running in second earlier in this run, is now the car leading the dead lane that is the outside line, and he's dropping back like a rock. Making a move, trying to make things work, trying to get to the front, but unfortunately that lane just died out, and now Delaney's kind of stuck, mired back outside the top 15, and he finally found a hole, and now the entire field, with the exception of Evan Mesnard, is now single file throughout the entire field.
Mesnar no hole to go in for the time being. Although
Oh!
tech issue, Bobby Anderson.
How did that happen? He blinked out.
Yep. Tommy Gossett, I think, was trying to tell him, hey, I have no idea where you are. And Anderson, I think, recognized the situation, moved out of the way. It's going to be costful now, but the field will respect that. Make sure you don't collect anybody with any mistakes with the internet.
Yeah, I only see 2 cars.
Trouble,
that
really
turn
2. Johnny Avila, hard on the inside wall. Caution flag is out. Cody Porter, his teammate and team boss, also in it. And Anderson was right in the vicinity also.
Oh my gosh, 5 had nowhere to go. The 63 got nowhere to go either, but the 04 of Cody Porter just got loose right in front of the 5 and came down and collected the 63. Heavy front end damage for the 63, and it's just a 3-car crash at the back of the field. That 4 car just couldn't handle the turbulent air that is back there in the back 30s. When you're running this far back, all of the cars in front of you create this chaos amount of air, and for some reason, Cody's car just could not hang on to it, and it just lost it, and that's what's going to bring out yet our 3rd caution, I believe, 4th caution of the day after that stage finish.
Take a look at some replays. There is another note we'll look at in a moment because Dave Hoytsma just got ran over under caution to add to the issues. Johnny Avila, nothing he can do except run into the wall after the contact ping-pongs him to that inside as we talked about. So, including the cars under caution, at least 5 cars pick up hits. Watch this on the checkup with the 79. This, again, the parent when it comes to Lucas Hoytsma, making an appearance here tonight. With Maconi set up shop backing. He's just trying to roll through the field, catch up, right? Before the big checkup. Watch Pearson when he gets to that checkup.
Right there's a checkup. And, he tried to miss him, but didn't. And so, yeah, that's going to be a penalty post-race. They're going to get some points for that. You're supposed to pay attention to the cars in front of you, and unfortunately, Pearson missed out on this one.
Yeah, 62 with the hit.
Pearson, that's what I was saying. Yeah, Pearson.
So, Pearson going to add some nose damage potentially there to that situation. And expect some repairs now for the 79. Now, this caution flag comes at a very awkward time, by the way, as we'll see this from the 62. For a lot of these drivers, they're going to be outside the fuel window, and for a lot of these competitors are going to have to make sure that they stay up close and not do this when they're going to be saving fuel here.
You know, saving gas is going to be... Oh, yeah, Pearson, no doubt about it, he was going to come down. He wouldn't stay out after that front-end damage. He just didn't get a chance to come down pit road. He decided to wait to the second lap. Yeah, I think that it's interesting to see Nolan Hodgson. Remember, he hadn't talked about him much this week. He's Ryko-backed, pretty dang fast. I know him, but I got to say, he won here in the spring last year. And that 12 car is in a position where he can now try and do well. But remember, he has 28 laps on his tires, and he's not going to make it on gas. So he'll have to come back down one more time, no matter what happens. But it's still kind of cool to see him up front.
So, with this situation, Hodgson at least getting led laps, obviously making the game plan if they're being in our caution. Cody Johnson, 2 tires is next. Tyler Hunter gets some screen time as well in the EPI car in the top 3. Vroom, the first on 4. In your top 4, Galata, Benefield, Taylor, Hill, Owens, Hutchinson. Irina Bellany, Johnny Avila on top of that crash, by the way. Just got a too many pit stalls, Bellany. So things are snowballing in the slow camp. The team name slow, not the actual meaning. So right now, here is the situation. The estimated window is going to be borderline, if not out of the window. For everybody else here, Kirk, do you just go full out and hope there's a caution? Do you try and turn down the speed a little bit by a few miles an hour? What's the play here? Because with these pace laps, they could maybe make it.
You know, I'm never a big fan of getting to the point where you have to, at fuel saving. Fuel saving at super speedways should be illegal. I don't like it. But I'd say push hard. Try and lead this thing and understand if you push hard, somebody might wreck behind you. So if they get single file, though, save. We'll see what happens on the restart.
Green flag, green flag. So it's Hodgson for the first time tonight, getting lead laps here tonight. Our lead lap total, for reference, is at 7 different drivers, often with the lowest amount tonight. Conklin with the most at 30. There is a trend when it comes to that, by the way. Anyone with the Ryko power plant have led all but about 5 laps tonight so far. Meanwhile, as this field gets the outside line charged up, some new faces from the EPI camp look to make some waves. We know they've made a big presence this season to actually have a team itself. Tower Hunter is going to be wanting to make sure they dig with Cody Johnson now leading the outside line to work with too.
I think that they're going to lead that outside line for a very short period of time. I think that the story for this restart is going to be watching 2 drivers specifically. I'd say the 58 car of Sean Conklin, who's now sitting back outside of top 20 and 20th on the outside line, and his teammate Dylan Basin right on the 6. I think that they might going to be figuring out the ways to get to the front. He almost tried to make a 3-wide move on the 5 car in front of him. 5 closed the door. So I think it's going to be fun to watch him go from the back to the front, but I think they're going to try and march their way up towards the front as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, right now they are still trying to play things out pretty well. Tommy Gossett, for whatever reason, trying to start a 3rd line, by the way. Here's an interesting thing with the drivers saving the way they are. Gossett just picked up 3 spots at the back of the line, but no one to draft off of. But do you want to be the leader with us running the slowest straight line speed of the race so far?
No, I don't even want to be anywhere near the lead right now. I want to be at least 10th, saving gas. If I was going for a win, I don't like saving gas. I hate it, but that's the only way you win these things nowadays. You gotta play the game. And you see Jedi Taylor, last week's FLCC 500 winner, trying to outside line as a leader now. Maybe he could try and get 2 wins in a row, make it 2 for 2 if he's able to stay up front.
Yeah, right now, everyone trying to settle on in. To correct myself with the lead laps, I just double-checked in terms of the lineup versus those reported to be with the same setup here tonight. It's 1 lap led, not by that total. Clayton Hoffman for Altus. Everybody else has been one of those, I guess you could say, 10 Cook Mafia backed, as you will here tonight. Statement he made so far. Hearing a lot of checkups are going on in the heart of the field as Jason Estero leads the outside. A lot of these cars up here are getting big runs and having to lift hard. Some of these drivers are saving, some of them don't want to push.
Yeah, oh, right here, this is going to be a perfect example. You got a great image of it. 84 is going to be right out there, and he's going to try and push that 58 by the 5. And now the 8's going to come in there and try to make a 3-car push to make that 3rd lane work. These guys don't like being mired back in traffic. They want to be in control of this race, and they're going to try and get to the front as quickly as possible. Look at that. Car in front of them goes up the block. They make contact. Mesnard almost gets spun off the front bumper of the 58.
That was a little bit of a sketchy moment, and it's still sketchy. Right now, first time we've really seen anybody intentionally start a 3rd line tonight. Now they're driving like slot cars. Look at Basin build this run to try and build it up on Conklin. Bobby Anderson, though, blocks it off. Now Conklin moves up a lane, and it's filled with Mesnar now, the gap instead. All with Tommy Gossett still wrapping the top side as they try and pick up all the track position.
Whoa, look at that 58. The 58 shot out of a cannon. He's all the way up to 4th in line now.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to say. They're shuffling some of these cars that are leaving the gaps open, like Casey Graves, for example.
Oh. William Owens just got shuffled by Delaney now. Owens going to go topside 3 wide. He's going to make the 58 3rd in line now on the top lane up front. These guys just are able to manipulate everybody and get towards the front as soon as they wanted to. Wow.
Yep, so all of them are seeing a lot of aggression, and look who's leading. The driver who picked up his first FLCC victory and his second win in the entire lineage of the series. Last time out, Jedi is up front. Your winner from Daytona, leading for the first times tonight, really. As they zoom by lap traffic, he gets to try and see if he can keep himself ahead in the United Retinals machine. Or Unta. That is a very complicated sponsor, I'll just say that.
Well, I think it's a Chevy. I don't know. Might be, might not be. I don't know.
Are you
That's the
talking
best
about
way
the
I
Ford?
learned to say it. I have no idea. It might be a Ford. I don't know. I can't see it. It's too far. Can't see it, too far away. But I got to tell you right now, we're talking about which car again? Which one are we looking at?
Never mind. It's what's more important is we're still zipping around here past the 100 lap mark. We're under 60 to go. We're in the window to make it on gas. And Hodgson, all of a sudden, just lifted a ton here. Look at this. Delaney moves down. Conklin zips by. Graves, a black flag car, zips by. A lot of those aligned cars zip on by and sort themselves to lead the group here.
Yeah, I think staying out was a bad call. I don't like it. Might save an extra. Oh, the 84 makes a crazy move on the 73. 73's loose. He saves the car. That was something right there. 84 made it 3 wide, and Mesnard got really screwed there. Holy cow.
Yeah, all of them are trying to figure out just how hard they're going to go here. Because speeds are now picking up. We started with the fuel save. They're not really fuel saving as hard anymore from what it looks like, because the speeds have picked up 3 miles an hour down the straightaways.
I don't like this right now. That 73 car is on loose as I've ever seen a race car. I think that 73 is going to be in a bad spot. I mean, I'm looking at it. He's sliding the car in the middle of the corners. And, oh, man, it just does not look like it's happy right now.
Yeah, this is a field that is really not afraid to take advantage of things. Dustin Hall just got kicked out to the outside for good measure on top of things. Just absolute calamity here tonight. And this is for a night and day difference. As you said, the last year were calm, cool, collected. Tonight it's, what's calm? Well, how about screaming into the void as you try and make passes? It seems like that kind of intensity here tonight, where everybody wants to lead, but not everybody can lead at once, while trying to maintain fuel to make sure you can make the distance in the first place. You know what I mean? It's A-open, but with 2 A-opens and a short distance race.
You're right. Man, I enjoy this so dang much. It's so fun to watch. You know, I've watched the Cup Series for a long time, but, you know, I haven't really gotten this much enjoyment out of racing until I started doing this. Commentating this. I mean, it's so much fun to watch them because the storylines just continue to get crazier and crazier. And I say it's more entertaining than Cup Series for me. I know it's sim, but still, it just makes me happy. The outside line's gone, though. I think that outside line decided that it wanted to, you know, go to the bottom and disappear. Hide from the law, per se. That 8 car, though, Tommy Gossett kind of got the last one to be hung out there, pulls in front of Galata, and they're going to probably be just outside of top 10 with that. But now we got the snake, giant front end snake, and they're going to be catching the 71 car of Hunter Truel here any second now to go by another lap car.
Yeah, that lap traffic to the high side. 71 has had issues in terms of keeping up with the pack here at times tonight. We'll see them just drive in and get zipped on by so far. 32 cars are on the lead lap as we go. Only 1 car, Pearson, is out of the race from the caution flag incident. Every other car who's involved with major damage has at least kept themselves in the pack once they lost the draft here. On that, maybe Cody Porter, who is pitting right now. So everyone's done a good job at least staying in tow with the leader. The difference is, compared to Daytona, where it was under 2 seconds for 30, 40 cars, it's 5 seconds the spread for the lead lap cars.
Not too much of a spread. I mean, this is my favorite part of this race. I don't know if we can ask Howie here, our producer. Can we get a stationary camera or flyby? I want to just listen to this because it's one of my favorite sounds in all of racing, where you get a long single file line of cars and it's just constant. And I can fall asleep to that, but let's just listen to it for a lap. That right there, that sound, where it's right up next to the cars, man, it's such a cool sound.
Yeah, this has been, so far tonight, the top race now, where in the end, plotting and planning to make sure you're in the right position to be able to pick up points critical. And we are under 50 to go already in this stage. Mesnard, give him credit, you see him right there, third on the racetrack at the moment. That 73 is just continuously amongst those that has been shuffled out of line, has been kicked out of line, has had to regroup to get a line, has been having to find help so many times. One of the Lunar racing machines here tonight has had to kick and scream to be able to get back up here with everything that's happened in the 73 car. Mesnard's having a nice job, nice race tonight. All of a sudden here with the track position. Now it's about, can he make sure to make enough friends to contend?
Can we possibly take a look on the screen for the stints? Because that's one of my favorite things to look at. I constantly like looking at stints because I want to see where that 73 car is actually in terms of stints. He is actually on the same strategy as the top two guys. I was not expecting that. First guy that's on a different strat looks like everybody's on the same strat. Oh, no, Nolan Hodgson, 53. There you go, 7th place. But other than him, everybody else is kind of in a tough spot. They don't have to worry as much. They could save enough gas, relax. But that 73 choosing to be third in line, all over the back bumper of the 84. We'll see if that continues to happen. There's just a lot of checkups up front now. People saving gas. Oh, look at that. Huge checkup. The 8-car slingshots to the outside line. Holy cow. He passed 5, 6, 7. He's going for the lead now. Side by side with third. Going for second. He's alone. He decides he wants to lead this thing. He checks up and he's going straight to the front. And I think it's because his teammates slowed down the entire inside line, and it worked. He went from back in 20th all the way to the lead of the race in just one go because the top two slowed down. Watch this checkup. They developed this. This is a highlight reel if I've ever seen one. 8-car backs up. Galata is going to be right on his tail. He's going to give him a shot, and that 8-car is going to gain a lot of speed going down this turns 3 and 4. And watch this. It happens in the trial. That 8-car, he's got the speed. He's got a good run build. He's going to have that run go. Action. You see the cars in front, they check up because the leaders check up. He goes straight to the outside line and passes all these guys. Takes the lead, and he's sitting P1 right now. Phenomenal. I say, like, they controlled this pack better than anybody I've ever seen. That 58 car and Sean Conklin, Dylan Basin, they slowed the pack down so they can let their teammate do exactly this. Look at this. I mean, you just want to listen to Danger Zone while you're in the car. Passing everybody, going straight to the lead at a super speedway track. It looked like they had like 100 horsepower more than anybody else.
You know how big the pack difference has gotten after that, by the way? They're running below 180 miles an hour on the fuel save. Galata's now saying, you know what, if no one's going to go, I'm going to take the real estate. It is the perfect plot to be able to make sure you can build your apartment building today. Look at Galata be able to build some real estate now in the Skip Barber car.
Man, I am stunned. They have slowed way down, and now that second lane starting to develop. I think folks saw what just happened up front with Gossett, and they want to do something similar, and that's kind of going to speed them up. But the drivers of the 58 and the 84 knew that they need to save more gas, so they slowed down. their top 2 guys in line. That caused this single file line to turn into pack racing very quickly.
There is one concern if you continue to have this race go green. The person that may or may not be calling caution. There's a bag on the track. There's a hailstorm in turn 2. Noah Hodgson, you talked about him. That's the only driver with a different strategy. He will have to pit in about 10 laps. So that 12 needs something to happen here. He needs this field to have to also pit because he's not going to have the help for much of the rest of the stint after this. So at this point, his hope is somebody makes a mistake here as everybody tries to save and tries to figure out where they want to actually drive their cars. But the way things are looking, Galata, I think if he wanted to, could take this lead easily, Kirk. He doesn't even want to push it. Now they push the speed up again.
Yeah, they went up in speed for sure. But, I mean, it's not to the point where I'd say you want to go 100% yet. But take a look at who's on the outside line leading this thing right now. Chad Sanner. He's not a guy you normally see up front at all in the FLCC, but he's here. He had the qualifying speed. He's here, and he had a chance to go to the top 5. He crossed the line 6th that last time by, but now he's going to get a shot from the 92 behind him.
Yeah, immediately getting shuffled. Look who's up there with them. Robert Miller. He was in the grass earlier. He's gaining ground and pushing the tempo. Miller really digging to be able to try and have a chance here.
The lead is under contest again, and now Miller's pushing that 99 car Galata trying to take the lead. Now, I think that speeds are starting to pick up again. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think that these guys are still pushing. I think they are still saving gas. It's too slow for it to be full speed on right now. The fastest laps of the race that they ran were like, they were running warm-up times of 29.4. But they're running 30.1, so they are like half a second off the pace. So they're all saving gas.
Yeah, they're all trying to get to the number. Remember, they are borderline with the pace laps in the first place. For those just tuning in, right now the field is about maybe on the money, if not a few laps short, if that. That's how thin the margins are here at Echo Park. But we know one thing's for certain. Whenever you see Robert Miller, you know he's fast. But the big thing is for Miller, getting wins. He missed the playoffs last year barely after having winning contention cars all year. Having a lot of crashes, though, when he was up at the front of the field. Drove to the field several times after some of those crashes, too. Then picked up a win at Darlington.
That 15 car, man. It was kind of a heartbreak last season, but now I still have some thoughts about Robert Miller. I think he's going to be someone to watch if he decides to run the full season. It changes things now. Winning, it doesn't mean as much as it used to. You don't get automatically in the playoffs. So now it's about points. You know, make sure you have at least enough points to make the playoffs. The chase, rather. And that's something I appreciate. I am not a fan of that playoff system. I'm glad it's gone. Good riddance. I'm hoping that Mark Martin's word saying that it was the best compromise is accurate. We're going to find out this season for sure.
I mean, that's going to be the understatement in terms of being able to see how things fare out for at least a couple iterations of it before any other decisions are made, to say the very least. Outside lines mostly dissipated again with the fuel save. Galata is the one marching ahead here as they are still trying to see who wants to risk burning the most fuel here. Miller does take the chance to move down at the very least. But with this train, Hoffman, he's amongst those coming up to this field. The craziest one out of this is Hastings, who is your lucky dog right now if we were to get a caution flag, first of all. Second, I'm surprised he made it here tonight. He called for a provisional because he barely made it here from the airport, from Atlanta.
It's awesome. I mean, the guy's just, doing everything he can to try and, live the life of of a great warm-blooded American. And I tell you what, I like seeing it. He goes out there, works on some fast dang race trucks, and then goes on the sim and has some fun immediately after. This guy doesn't waste any time in his life.
Yeah, and remember, real-world experience, but also one of the well-respected crew members when it comes to Conti's side. He's trying to recover from his own mistake earlier on today. But Robert Miller in all this, now your leader in that 15 machine on the inside groove. Chad Center, he looks to try and bring the momentum in the Bigfoot chassis collective car on the outside. Bigfoot cars now 2 and 3 here as we turn the laps.
He's going for the lead. Chad Sander, way to go, buddy. All right. I know that everybody's saving gas, and it'd be a lot harder if they were pushing 100%, but I'm happy to see it. I'm happy he's leading some laps. That's kind of cool.
And I had to check the series record books on this. Sander's never led an official lap in the
he hasn't led yet either.
Series.
Yeah, he still hasn't led a lap either. Yeah, he still won't. He got passed. Come on, everybody got to be rooting for him to lead just one lap. Come on, go get it, Chad. Go get yourself a lap. Oh, man. But that 81, though, is trying to race his lap back the hard way.
I mean, it would make it much easier. Don't have to start behind the lap cars on a restart and hope you don't lose the draft. Why not? You can be used as a fuel saving device by these leaders here too. It's a benefit for the drivers to actually maybe let the 81 do what he pleases here.
Oh my gosh, these guys are not even cracking 180 on the straightaways. I'm looking at all the cars, they're just chilling. Nobody's hitting the gas.
I mean, do you blame them?
Oh, no. The thing is, the pack itself is only running about 3 miles an hour faster than the car that lost the draft in the 71 of Hunter Truex. That should tell you how fast these guys are going. They're not pushing at all. It's the only way you can win races right now. You got to focus on saving gas. And the leader of the race has heavy front end damage. The left front of that car is up in the air, kind of like a parachute. It ain't helping him. He's leading the thing, though. But now the outside line's starting to get some folks wanting to go up there to the top. I'm looking at like drivers like the 97, Lucas Hoytsma. 73 of Mesnar decide they want to try and lead some more laps. They're pushing a little harder than the 92. They're going to take the lead here in a minute.
Yeah, just like that, some new players say, I like my numbers now. Pit stop coming up, 12, Hodgson. He no longer can make it. The others are 46. 74 laps was the number for Noah Hodgson. So the others might indeed make it if they have done what they have been trying to do, because remember, that included pace laps for the 12. I think everybody else is going to be, as we've alluded to, going to be on the money. We might see those speeds, I think, now pick up now that Hoytsma and a few of the others have said, I think we're good. They've just picked it up 4 miles an hour for the straights.
Yeah, I'm seeing cars in the back as well. Nicholas Vroman pushing Benefield. They're both deciding that it's time to go. I saw one car hitting 190 miles an hour, and that's the fastest speed we've seen in the last 30 laps. So I think the folks think they can make it now, and they're trying to make their march to the front. This is way further back, though. It'll take a while for them to get up here, but they will.
You know what the speed difference? Yeah, Benefield and Roman, the Conti team members, are trying to get themselves ahead back there. Right now we're coming up to what's going to be 22 to go at the stripe in stage 2. Keep in mind as well, for those curious how many people have topped off in this grouping, the highest of those who had a top off is Gossett. He is an 8th. The next highest up on the top off, you have to go all the way to the back of the field to some of the lap cars. That outside groove you're just talking about, that was going to be here. Guess what? It's a Ryko car leading it, and guess what? It's Tommy Gossett again, looking to showcase how he can go from back to front in 2 laps.
Yeah, he didn't need 2 laps the other time. He went from 20th to the lead in less than a lap. The guy's kind of crazy in that point, but he had help from teammates. But now he decides he wants to get back down to the bottom of the racetrack. He does, and now Paul Hill leads the outside line. And you're going to see Thomas Kulmacheski pushing him. And looking at the speeds of the front lane, the outside row is running about 6 miles an hour faster than the bottom. Folks on the bottom are still saving. Folks on the top are wanting the lead.
Yeah, right now, a lot of squabbling, a lot of shuffling here as they try and play things out. Mesnard trying to be the Pied Piper. Paul Hill, he's looking to try and get some laps up on the board. Trying to get his first lead laps of the day here so far. And I know you had a lot of the data here pulled into tonight to look at how things went for some of the drivers. Keep in mind, Mesnard, in terms of some of that data, had 9 laps led coming into tonight. He's got 10 now in the season. Paul Hill, going to be another different story here where we've seen content in some of these races. In other words, a lot of the drivers who haven't even gotten a lead on a super speedway yet, or much of the FLCC, are getting the chances to do that tonight.
Yeah. It's different racing. That 73 is really loose right now. He almost got turned with a light push from the 97. So that 73 is not going to be good at leading a line right now. He's going to need a lot of help to be able to keep that car straight. But yeah, you're right. These guys that don't normally go up there and lead a lot of laps, yeah, they're absolutely getting the chance to do that now. This season and throughout his entire career, that's 10 laps led total in this series. So folks that you don't normally see up front are getting the opportunities to do that now.
For reference, for that data set you worked on, 272 laps previously. In the case of Hill, been led in 48 previous starts in his sake. Here in the FLCC, he turns the laps up on the front now with Kulmacheski behind. Look who's also coming up through the field in all this. Caught him the gray blur. He's added a little bit of pop to that car, the 98. Stephen Williams, the Aussie, has moved himself up. He is second on the outside and making some charges here.
Now, there's a lot of people that almost just wrecked here, the 92 included. They saved it, but up front, these guys have decided that they can make it, or that they're lying in their bed, they're good to go. They decided they want to try and push. And I'm looking at the speeds, they're hitting 185, 190 in some spots. So I think that they have decided to just stop saving and they're good to go. But some guys are still saving. Tommy Gossett is one of those that are still saving. The 92 Clayton Hoffman is still saving. You got these guys at the tail end of this pack that are just waiting for the right moment until they hit their number, and then they'll join the pack.
Now, right now, we're less than 50 laps to go on the stage as some people want to get some stage points built up. See that banner at the top of your screen when it comes to these drivers. Remember, stage ends lap 160. That's the bell lap for stage number 2. Then it's a 100 lapper to the end to decide who wins the Freight Train 400 tonight here at Maconi Entertainment. Right now, it's been opposite of that all night. Hutchinson starting to even out as everybody floors it through the corners. For those wondering where Nolan Hodgson is, by the way, here's the risk if you're him. First of all, the 12 is the last car 1 lap down, Kirk. Second, if he gets lapped here, his race could be cooked. That would put him at least stuck in 37 for a while. He is right now 5 laps away of getting lapped by these leaders.
Actually, he's in a very lucky spot. He's lost the draft, but he has Hunter Truel right behind him. Looking at their race speeds, they're actually very similar to the leaders, but not enough to where I think they won't get lapped. I think that they will get there, and when they do, it might be chaotic, because right now you see the 84 in the back of this pack. If we look about a few rows back, if we have a chance to, you'll see him up there way up against the wall, the 84 car. Dylan Basin, we know him and his team has been leading this thing the majority of the run, but since they started fuel saving, they kind of went back, and once they hit their number now, they're trying to get back up to the front. We saw them go from the back to the lead very quickly early in this stage, and I think they're going to try and do it again.
Stephen Williams now gets the chance to lead some laps here tonight. The 98 with the red numbers trying to work ahead. But here's...
Did you say Stephen Williams?
Yes, I did.
Oh my, really? That's awesome. I didn't expect that tonight.
I mean, he's one of the drivers who, over the course of his time looking at the statistics, has led laps. 0.07% of his laps coming into this season. Well, he's immediately getting freight trained by a couple cars. William Owens trying to make a pass 3 wide with Dustin Hall now getting some help from an EPI car.
Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. It doesn't look good. Hang on to it, boys. They're starting to get a little too chaotic for my taste. Okay, now 3 wide for like 4 lanes. No, thank you. Let's turn that off. Come on, relax. I don't know. Right now, there's a car in the middle. Chad Center. He is freaking out. He is all over the place.
Yeah, you see him right there trying to make sure it doesn't bounce off Vroom, bounce off Miller. Now he moves down to the bottom, so the panic is over. Some of the commentary popping up there with 9 laps to go over the radios from that. But Owens now getting a little bit of help maybe from the 99. Can that Lunar machine find his way ahead to try and take what will be an upset stage win?
Wow. Man, this is something else right here if he has enough gas in that 98 car. But back behind, this is just a hornet's nest. Look at this. 3 wide. Oh, man. They can't do this forever. There's no way.
Oh, Robert Miller just got shuffled out. He's going to drop to the back, try and stay out of trouble here with this hornet's nest. Hall moved down to the bottom. Also, Galata now is the first driver up top because Owens moved to the bottom. Look at the dig, though, for the 99. There's a lot to gain in the corners, but the problem is no one's able to really get a flush bump. Now Froman, this could be trouble. Galata nearly got an offset bump in the quad oval.
Man, it's getting antsy, man. We're only coming to the end of the stage, guys. Calm down. We got a race to do, a whole race. And they're still making 3 wide moves. I saw Heitman make a move on Robert Miller in the back. But up here you can see, oh my gosh, 99 just dives it in deep, and he's trying everything he can to try and catch back up towards front.
Yeah, right now pushing hard, Cody Johnson. We talked about his experience in SOF races. His super speedway skills are his bread and butter, remember, in that 08 car. And right now, he is having a hard time being able to get that outside rolling. We are running the fastest we've been since the start of the race. Lap traffic, though, is not moving. Yeah, they are staying to the bottom.
They're not going to move.
Now one goes up top, one bottom.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they stayed on the bottom. I didn't think they would, but the 12 car, I wouldn't doubt if he did, because this is his chance to stand a lead lap for 2 laps. But nope, not quite. Matthew David Wood decides to come down pit road. He can't make it on gas. More cars are probably not going to make it on gas. Keep an eye on that pit road indicator. We might see more names pop up.
Less than 5 to go. Keep in mind, Wood was a lap car either way, so put him well down in terms of the run through. Hodgson, at the very least, was now forced up to the top side, so he's out of the way. But it's Hill on the outside. It's Williams inside. I just heard a pit call over the radio. The 92. Clayton Hoffman just indicated he cannot make it. And he is one of the drivers who lost touch of the draft.
Whoa!
The Bigfoot cars.
There's almost a huge record for William Owens. Got sent in the middle 3 wide, and 19 went below the red line. 19 went below the red line. That's Ralph Hutchinson trying to avoid an accident with the 30. I don't know if they're going to call that. Oh, there they go, the 08. Contact, they're wrecking behind. Multiple cars sliding, spinning everywhere. Heitman's involved. The 84 Basin. You got Dustin Hall, Bobby Anderson, and multiple cars wrecking off turn 2 before the end of the stage.
This might be the stage as we're under caution. Heitman amongst the meatball flags on the track. He is the only one, but a lot of cars took hits, you see.
I have no idea what on earth what caused that incident, but my goodness, we're going to find out. Take a look at your screen. Lap car, Johnny Avila. It was Johnny of, okay, so the 98 of Williams, I believe it is, tried to avoid the lap car that was incoming. that was the 63 of Johnny Avila. He was a lap car. He decided he wanted to stay on the bottom. Take a look at this. If we can go on board with the 98, you'll see it happen. But see that red car on the bottom? He's trying to give him room, and that outside line was not prepared for that to happen yet, and that contact caused a chaos chain of events that brought a lot of cars to spin around. Here's the onboard. Let's see that red car. You're going to see that car in front slow down, the 63. He's not on your screen yet. Right there, he shows up. He tries to go up to avoid him, and that's where the contact happens, and you look in that mirror and you just see chaos.
Yeah, pure carnage. Lucas Weitzman is getting a hit. Sander took some slaps as well back there. Believe that's the stage, by the way. And have to try and see what things look like, because here's the thing. A lot of these cars pit, so this may change here. Hill, Galata, Williams, Kocheski, Conklin, Johnson, Benefield, Hutchinson, Vroom, Owens unofficially were top 10. But again, race control will have to, like stage 1, review that to make sure the numbers are correct for who gets the 10 down to 1 stage points out of that said stage. So, the race off pit road, we'll see everybody take 4 tires. It's going to be Bigfoot up front. In Hill and Galata, Conklin, Komacheski, Williams, your first 5.
I'm looking at a lot of cars now that are a lap down that are going to need a lot of help to be able to get back on the lead lap. Brandon Hastings, Derek Heitman, Dustin Hall, Matt DeCiani. These guys that are normally fast, we see them up at the front week in, week out. Nolan Hodgson's 2 laps down. Matthew David Wood, who was up front challenging for that first stage, 3 laps down. Hunter Truex just had a really abysmal day, 4 laps down. There's a lot of these guys that are in the back of the field that really need a lot of help. But there's a few guys that are still out there in the lead pack that just got a little bit of damage from that incident, but their car should still be okay. You can see that on the left side of your screen. I'd say everybody all the way back until about Benefield on your screen, currently sitting 24th, would be pretty comfortable. Everyone behind, it's hit or miss, but that's at least something to keep in mind.
Still a lot of those cars coming in and out of pit road. Some of them just finishing up repairs like DeCiani, Dyson, Coffey. Basin still having to get repairs done. Might not even beat the pace car out. That's how long some of these people are getting repairs, but that's what takes the wave around here. It's a one-stopper no matter what to the very end of this one, Kirk. The strategy's simple. You pit past halfway if it goes green. Now, here comes the question. What driver will take the reins? I asked this question a bit in stage 2. Now, where do you see the trend go for who controls this race? Because it was Ryko, obviously, stage 1. It was a bit more up in the air with the fuel save by the end of stage 2. Where does stage 3 take us?
Yeah, so let's take a look at remembering what happened to Nolan Hodgson. How many laps he ran? He ran 74, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so 74 laps. On that, we have 100 laps to go. That means they got to make one more pit stop at some point in this race. If the caution comes out anywhere after 26 laps of green flag, if we stay green for 26 laps, you can almost guarantee they can make it to the end on gas. So up until then, if we stay green for a long run, I'd say stay up front. Don't worry about fuel save. Focus on actually staying out as long as humanly possible and pit at the latest possible moment. But now, this restart, we're about to start stage number 3. I have no idea who's going to win this thing. We got to find out together. Here we go. Paul Hill leads us in.
And a lot of people didn't get a good jump there. A lot of gaps on both lines, but the inside now controlled by Hill and Conklin. Now Komacheski trying to help up Galata. Then it's a little Gago to Williams and Gallimore Duggar. The outside line is not getting a lot of people willing to work with it to start things off in the fresh rubber. So as they shuffle around and try and sort out who wants to get this outside revving up here. Conklin, one of the drivers who's been fast all day, one of the constants. 43 laps led. That's the most in this entire race, Kirk. He was the driver who led the most laps at Daytona last week. Conklin looking to see if he can avoid trouble and try and make up for what was a race-winning car last time out and get the race-winning car to victory lane this week.
You know, I think for him, he's obviously really talented. I've heard a lot of good things about him. I haven't seen him race that often myself, only because I don't watch as often as I probably should. But I could say that I've heard only good things from that driver. And whether or not they're able to make it to the end of this race depends entirely on whether or not he's able to control the lines. And based on my understanding, at super speedways, big races, he's able to win these things. So I'm guessing he has great control whenever he's out front. But right now, he's in a particular position where I don't think he's in a very happy spot. Sitting second in line behind a 26, I mean, he's no longer in control. The 26 is in control. So I don't know how long it will take for that 58 to decide that he wants to try and lead the line again. But not saying that it won't, but it absolutely could happen, as the outside line is really just disintegrated. Now you got Hill, Conklin, Galata, and Kulmacheski, who's having one of the best races of his career in FLCC, running the top 4 spots on the bottom, as Gallimore starting to get that outside line pushing forward.
Yeah, Gallimore up and down tonight. Gallimore seen up front for a bit earlier on this evening. One of the drivers who hasn't led a lap yet, although he is coming off such a momentous run at Daytona. We talked about it in terms of competing in the PGR 500, with being able to contend in a couple other major races for race wins at Daytona. Daytona was a strong week, or 3 weeks, really.
Oh, Kulmacheski hard into the outside wall, almost upside down. Multiple cars wrecking in turns 1 and 2. The caution will most certainly come out. The 98 of Steven Williams has damage, but heavy hit from the 88 of Kulmacheski. His day will most certainly be done after that one.
So Gossett disqualified for incident points. He is the first to hit the 17 incident cap today, as that will have some ramifications. Kulmacheski, another one of the BMP cars, he goes around after having a solid race.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't even his fault. Tyler Hunter in the 5 car, Bobby Anderson. Oh, it was Gossett giving a shot to the back bumper, Tyler Hunter. Then Tyler had nowhere to go. He hit the 5. 5 got squirrely, came down and hit the 88, and, you know, Bob's your uncle. Everybody gets wrecked out. Let's see if we can look at that one more time. Watch the 8 car. When it goes into the tri-oval, the 8 car is going to give a shot to the back bumper of that 48. Watch what happens here. That shot is going to send the 48 to the 5, and the 5 is going to get loose and wreck the 88, right? Bang, bang, boom. They're gone.
And boom, boom. Big time send into the incident for, I think, Stanner. Some of the others like Tanner Marty, who we haven't mentioned all night, slams on into it also at the very end. One of the LRP cars picking up some damage. And that's going to require a few drivers to top off and or get repairs. And with how the fuel flexibility went last run, some of the drivers already are taking the chance to top off, maybe use an extra set if they have it here. Because remember, we did have an estimated 1 to 2 extra sets if you went the normal pit stop stint.
Looking at this right here, they need 18 more laps before they can come down and make it on gas. So these guys all are still not able to make it on fuel unless they are driving an ungodly speed, which would not be very fast at all. Man, I am glad these cars face through one another. I just saw Hoytsma, like, you know, greet the ghost of that Conklin car. It went straight through the dang thing. iRacing, it has a lot of realism in it, but that most certainly breaks the immersion every time I see it.
I mean, you talk about the ungodly fuel save efforts. It is possible to stretch a lot because in real life we know Michael McDowell went 62 laps. His son Trace McDowell can name that number off the top of his head immediately on point. Worked with him in a couple different broadcasts. But I don't know if we're going to see it to that extreme.
27
where
miles.
You're trying to make the whole... Yeah, I don't think you're going to stretch that much over the course of the stage.
And that's 27 miles from what we saw the 12 car, Nolan Hodgson, who was saving, made it 74 laps. And on top of that, he would have to save 27 more miles, and I don't think that's going to be possible. 18 laps, around a mile and a half. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen.
So as this field sets up, Robert Miller is amongst those who stay on the racetrack with Owens, Delaney, Mesnard, Graves, Taylor, Dave Hoytsma. Of course, this. We'll say, over the course of this run, we haven't talked much about one of the rookies, Casey Graves, who was one of the drivers who raced his way in some of the wild racing and the duels we called before the week before the FLCC 500. Quietly has been okay to start things off here for his second start of the season. The 01, if he finds some friends, might have a difference here too.
You know, I'm looking at that car. He's definitely a rookie in this series. He's in a position where he's up front, but remember, this is very early in stage 3. The real contenders, I think, will rise to the top over the course of the run. What we got up front right now aren't terrible drivers. These guys are really dang good. But in terms of what we've seen today, best drivers are still yet to get towards the front. They were leading most of this race, but now they're mired back, 8th on back, I think. But these guys up front still have a great shot at winning if they're able to control the lanes. Now, it would be difficult to do that, but I think that 01 car is showing that even though he's a rookie, he's in a good spot, and I hope he stays towards the front. It'd be cool to see how he does it.
So Miller ready to control this field. For Robert Miller, 4 laps led tonight. He and Hoffman have each led laps. In the Altus camp, keep in mind in this series, it is team slow for the team registration. Here we go, back on the way. And the 15 gets himself a decent launch. Delaney cuts himself ahead also.
Outside line just vanished, ladies and gentlemen. Houdini. Oh, but 73 slammed on the brakes, and that's going to rebuild that outside line. Mesnard had to hit the brakes to avoid running into the back of the 30 car, William Owens, and now the outside line's falling back. Something's wrong with the 60s. I don't know what's happening right now, but it just seems like there's a lot of chaos in the middle of the field trying to get settled in.
Yeah, these drivers not really staying in coordination yet. But expect that to change here as some of the drivers are quarter back off the gas and some of the others try and steady out themselves. Williams is that rally car on the top groove. But all of them zip on ahead, 88 to go. This time by at the stripe here as Delaney looks to set up a chance for his run. Again, you talk about statistics, you talk about King of the Super Speedway, you talk about the best drivers last year. In terms of those standings, we talked about this a lot last time. He was one of the drivers who picked up a win, 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s on the super speedways. Delaney is one of those drivers who I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to pull something like that off again this season, or at least a decent showing in King of the Super Speedway to win some of that prize money for that respective championship.
It's a lot of money. Of course, they want to go for it. It's a league that actually pays. So these guys want to, earn that money and earn that, bragging right, saying that you can do it. And you race some of the hardest drivers to beat on a service for long distance racing. If you want to go watch half distance racing, go ahead. But man, there's a lot of hard pushing in that outside line. The 58 and the 73 catch my eye right now. Remember that 58? We talked about him most of the race. He's been one of the cars to beat, but that 73 sitting in front of him, and that 58 does not like being mired back in traffic. I think he's going to try and shed him as quick as possible.
Has some help lined up behind Duggar at the very least. There is the option, but we know it's going to require waiting for a gap to open up in that middle group. Most likely pluck the car off the middle and force him up to the third group. Watch the 01 for good measure. I'm surprised Mesnard's not forcing the issue a little bit more. Try and get Graves to push up the track a little bit with how shaky he's been in terms of holding that groove. Oh, Mesnard,
not clear. Not clear, but he found a way to make himself clear. If you did that to any other driver in the series, you are going around. But he did it to Dave Hoitzma, one of the kindest gentlemen in this entire dang series. He gave him a huge break. Big props to Dave Hoitzma.
Yeah, that could have been bad. That could have been very bad, just with the close call. So, still staying pretty wild up at the front here in all this. As they run their way through. No one's shed the 0-1 quite yet, but now with that change, Conklin at the very least links up with the same setup in terms of that outside groove to be able to help out the black flag. And right now, Conklin giving a little bit better brakes to be able to help. They are still triple car tandeming. It's not as like Daytona where it's needed to be the thing. They are making it work though, just slowly making roads.
You know, sometimes I get mesmerized by this stuff. You realize that this is a simulator, not real. A lot of people I talk to and I show these broadcasts to, they look at this and they thought it was real at first. But now you see it and it's just amazing how far we've gone. We got a little replay to show you of Casey Graves here. Watch the 73 car, Mesnard. You see the 79 of Dave Hoitzma on the bottom. Not clear yet, not clear, but Dave, you saw him hit the brake. 73 would have gone around if it was anybody else.
Yeah, that was a big break he was given, to say the very least, when he cut down. To get to your point about how realistic things look now in iRacing these days, I've commentated races where in the comment section of some of the broadcasts, especially if it's, say, connected to some of the real world side of things, I will say this, a lot of drivers have found, a lot of fans, until you say, oh, it's iRacing, will not realize that absolutely. They will see it blend together with the way things look on super speedways.
Yeah, I got myself a pretty beefy view of it all, but I gotta say, it's fun to watch, absolutely. You're right. Coming down to the end of these things now, these guys are still pushing. No, I don't think anybody's saving gas looking at the speeds of the cars. Nobody's thinking about saving. I'd say, looking at the speeds, I'd say they're going about 80%. 80%. Only because they're not really hitting 190 in every part of the track. I'm looking at the bottom lane. I normally get a good judge of how fast the pack is going by looking at the fifth car on the bottom lane. At Echo Park, if they're going in the 185 to 187 range, you could expect them to be going about 80%. But if they ever hit 190, that's when you know they're going full out.
Well, what's the question for those wondering what's the pace? It's about 90%. I think you could say running 186 in the straightaways. They aren't flying. One thing we haven't touched upon with today in terms of the conditions, the weather, track's exposed to get cooler and cooler. The air temperature is starting to drop with the in-sim time at 5 o'clock here, Kirk. So what does that usually mean? Faster speeds, but humidity is a big thing. It's not humid, not as much as Daytona at the very least, so that will make it where the engine temps aren't going to be as big. Rather, the amount of time it takes to generate the run will not be as big compared to Daytona.
So that's just giving you more reason to watch before you block. Double check, because if you block at the wrong time, you're going to go around. But man, look at this rookie on the outside, that 01. Man, you're right. Speeds are picking up for the front guys. That 01 is actually going to be taking the lead and led that lap. Casey Graves, rookie, with a push from Conklin, sends them up to the front.
Now, look at this though. Can he get the clearance? Because they're extremely hard on the bumpers here on the outside. Graves can take it. He does take it. So it's Black Flag Motorsports now with the race lead once again here tonight. And Conklin will have to reset. Does have Duggar, who is going to be definitely willing to push him.
They're going to be side by side at it too if they're not careful. I think that 01 made a good choice to go down for the time being, but if he sees that 50, maybe not. 15 decides to go up to the top. That was unexpected. There goes Robert Miller trying to take the lead back by going to the top side, and now Conklin's going to be pushing the 15 as Delaney on the back bumper. The 01 chooses not to push, but the 15's loose off the front bumper of the 58.
Miller wants to try and prove he can win again. Now he blocks the inside again. Last year in his Ford, it was a bit of a bouncy ball for him. Tonight, the balls stayed pretty confidently comfortable. It's not been smashed against walls. It's not been smashed underneath the table. Now Graves is pushing up at a Conklin, though. Nearly smashing the field wall.
Oh, he saves it. They all save it. Everybody's going. I don't think anybody's wrecking. Maybe. I don't see anybody going around. We're good. Cars mowing the grass. But no, we're good. Keep it green. Keep her going. Keep your foot in it. Go. Run.
How did they all save it? I think the field is realizing we're still green. Conklin is going for the lead immediately.
15 gets up out of the way and just lets him go. Conklin was just a bad, innocent bystander there. The 0-1 of Graves, rookie mistake, goes into the corner, really tight of the race car, and he drifts up and makes contact with the side of that 58 car, and 58 got loose, and he came down and hit the inside, but that gave damage to both cars, and more cars will have damage in the back from their evasive maneuvers. But we got this long single file line now all the way back, but everybody's still a part of the lead draft. Let's take a look at that one more time. If we can go back a little bit to the exit of turn 4, just a little bit further back. Here we go. Look up front. We want to get on board with the 0-1 of Casey Graves. Not on board, but looking at that car. Right here, you see, drifted up the track, made contact. 10 hit him, got him loose, saves the car. But look at this. They're spread out. They're 4 or 5 wide, and I think they're not going to penalize anybody for going below the red, trying to avoid an incident. I don't think that that's something they'll penalize for.
Yeah, there's no words on penalties coming over the radio from that situation. But as we go, it's Conklin and Tucker up front. It's the Ryko show yet again. And some of their teammates, like Basin, want to join in on the fun to try and make it 1, 2, 3 for that setup. Oh, Basin got pushed through the corner. That's arrow loose. Good save with using other cars to hold on.
Man, I love it. I love this dang track. It's fun to watch. It wasn't always, but now it is, man. Man, these drivers are doing exactly what I like watching. They're racing hard still. If they could make it on gas, they would be saving, but nope. Because they can't make it on gas, we're seeing some fun racing up front.
'69, coming to 68 laps to go here. Here's
nice.
The block. Oh, Galata didn't want to go up there. 3 wide. They did not want to try and hold up with the 99 there. Galata to drop back. At this point, do you drop back and stay out of trouble with the way the intensity's going?
I'm looking at drivers that I know are fast that are hanging back, like drivers like Lucas Hoytsma, last year's champion. He led at the beginning of this race, but he sees how chaotic it is. He's back right now in 22nd spot. I think he's riding. I think him, you saw Brandon Hastings, who's back on the lead lap, by the way. You also got Bobby Anderson, these guys that are fast, that are hanging around in the back, waiting for the right opportunity to strike again. And I think these guys are saving, waiting for the big wreck, and then going to capitalize after the fact. But up front, oh, they almost just had it. The 60 car Jedi Taylor almost came up and hit the outside line. Saved it. But, man, it is chaotic up front.
Yeah, at this point, somebody's going to make a mistake with the way they're driving. Gallimore nearly just doored the 95. Everybody's right over the edge of their seats here with the tire stints. Remember, a couple of these drivers are offset by a few laps, remember, here too. They should all come about the same time, but it becomes the question on how you're willing to push these cars here late on the tire stints. Remember, if we get green flag stops, that's going to be unpredictable because it's such a rarity on the sim.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see some green flag stops. I hope that they make it green and clean all the way to the green flag stops, because that would just be amazing to watch. I have not seen them do that since the first year. They did do it in the first year. I think in the spring race last year, they had to go pit under green. But right now, there's still lap cars up against the wall. Man, that's so close. He's so slow off the corner there. He hit the wall. I had to back out of it big time. But Yeah, if we get to the green flag pit stops, I'd be overjoyed. But they won't be able to do that until about like 18 laps to go. That would be when you absolutely must pit. So I guess it's actually going to be more like 25 laps to go. So we got a long way before we have to think about pit stops. But I think we might see a wreck before we see pit stops under green. I just would like to see it. But again, we all can dream.
I'd honestly leave it a lap to 40 to go, to be honest with you, for the stop. Make it simple that way. 40 laps on the final stint of the tires. Something along those lines. Give yourself a runway, like at, say, Daytona, to be able to get your car back up to speed. Now, as they continue to slide their way on through, most of this field, even the lap cars, have been able to maintain good speeds here. For reference, it's straight line speed, the difference of a couple seconds. At Daytona, lap traffic, you're 5 seconds off the pace on your own. Lap
you look
cars,
on the
if
outside.
they have a drafting partner.
You're right, but on the outside, that Kumacheski just dropped back like you were talking about.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's with cars with groupings that we're starting to see. So it's not like we've seen at Daytona where it's a constant string of lap cars. This field seems to be not seeing anybody lose the back end of it and fall off the pack tonight.
I like to call them the maintainers. Those that are a lap down that hang on to the back of the field, they're called the maintainers in my book. They maintain. They can't gain nothing. They can't lose nothing. If they hit the brakes, they'll lose something. But if they can hang on to the pack, then they maintain. But up front, that 99, he went up to the top side trying to get a little bit of a run. That didn't quite work for him. That was Galata.
By way technical issues, Bobby Anderson is out of the race now. He had been one of the drivers towards the middle to back of the running order. So Anderson will fall down the order. But
didn't he have problems early on?
Not technical, but he was involved in a couple of caution flags, correct? Ed had a blip, remember, that forced him out of line.
Sign, and I hate to see it. It's like a blown tire in these races.
Yeah. I mean, if you blow a tire in the sim, it's to where you better hold on, because this car can either spin or push up the racetrack. In a lot of cases, you just get the meatball flag if you are able to avoid the full puncture. If you have a technical blip on a super speedway and you accidentally warp through a car, you can literally turn somebody by being in the fuel cell.
Now, speaking of, I mean, I got to say up front, they're side by side for the lead now. Galata's gotten that outside line on rails, and people are deciding to abandon the bottom line. That bottom line is dropping out and away as the 84 decides to get on right on the back bumper. 99 is going to have the lead, is right there behind him, got the 84 pushing now. That bottom lane looked like people were trying to get out of it for a lap, and then everybody went right back down to it.
DeCiani is a lap car. This is interesting for DeCiani in this circumstance because keep in mind, he is one of the drivers looking to be your lucky dog as they go way up the track. Everybody gave the 4 a break.
It wasn't even just him. The 84 got really, really tight in the center of the corner. He went up, almost hit the 92 on the top side. And I think the 92 might also be recovering so dang well. He was a lap down on a point, got in a big wreck, heavy front end damage, but now he's leading the outside line in terms of the lead lap. But that Ford car, being a lap down, he's back on the lead lap, but at the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, so now for DeCiani, the hope is get a caution flag, don't have to take the wave with the lucky dog situation, go from there. Clayton Hoffman, he was one of the drivers who originally had pit off cycle and had been a pit and lap down earlier on, had to take a wave around during one of the stages. He's now in the conversation. Keep in mind, he is running with Fortis tonight, not with Robert Miller, his fellow Altus normal car, who's with slow Fortis tonight.
Oh, the 11 car is saying he's loose on the outside line. The 95's complaining, saying, hey, man, I'm trying to push you. But that 11 car saying, I can't do it. I'm loose. I mean, I love that radio conversation there. That just tells you the struggles that the outside line has. Sometimes you got a car that's in front of you, and you don't want to shuffle them out. You want to help them. But the moment you get there, they just can't take your pushes. They're just too loose.
Yeah, and at this point, the stability is really going to be a factor for if someone spins around here. For some of the drivers, it's one of the longer runs of the day today we've seen on this strategy, or rather in this race on a lot of these tires. Gallimore might lose the top. Gallimore got loose again and said, you know what? I'm not going to wreck this car. He lets everybody go. Johnny Avila is up in that group, second on the outside too, by the way. His car was junk about 100 laps ago.
Yeah, the Canadian Assassins coming back up on the outside dang lane right there in that 63. I don't know, man. I hope that 63 is able to make it work, but that car, I don't know how it's still rolling. It hit the inside wall hard about maybe 100 laps ago.
Yeah, I'm surprised he was able to get so much of the damage fixed after, remember, the contact with Cody Porter. For reference, after Porter's sliding situation, Porter is out of the race in 39th. All this is with a slide up for Vroom Vroom. Vroom still trying to get a little bit of a pinch down. He looks very comfortable doing that. 92 Hoffman got loose and settling inside. As here it goes, Vroom, he's now the leader, and he'll actually pin the 4 lap down again.
But it's still the first car 1 lap down. Might as well take the wave around. Either way, he's in a good spot. He wants to lead as much as possible, but that's not going to work now that Vroman was able to shed the 11 car, who was a little slow because of his loose condition. He went up to the top, and he was in the lead, but not for long. The 63 just went on by him. And now Paul Gallimore's a pusher on the bottom with a lapper of Kolmacheski. The 3rd car on the bottom now. He might not be the first car 1 lap down. Kolmacheski's multiple laps down, though. 16 laps back. I don't know why he's up here in the front of the pack. When you're 16 laps down, I'd get out of the way.
You know who just had to get out of the way? I think forced to. The driver who was battling for the lucky dog with DeCiani. Dustin Hall lost his help, and now he's forced back. He got the lucky dog spot for 10 seconds. As there goes the 88. Kolmacheski pulls the pin for pit stops. Chad Center also loses a lap. Cody Johnson about to be lapped here, and Johnson is not moving off the bottom.
Yeah, I think he wants to try and hold the bottom as his line, and that's going to make, remember, this caused a wreck last time. It looks very similar to what it did before.
No wreck this time. Most of the field's actually moved off the bottom. Now the drivers behind are going to be a problem. DeCiani forced to actually pick him up on the low groove as the others who moved up topside blend back down here. So a lot of squabbling in the lane choice with Johnson now your lucky dog car and Avila your leader. That is 2 of the top 3 cars now for slow. Vroman is with Conti.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people don't really know.
Oh no! Like, Vroman just had a contact with Avila. Avila off the nose of the 95. We're still green.
How the heck he saved that car, I have no idea. But, man, I hate to see that accident happen. Keeping an eye on live while we look at this replay here. Man, and it looks like that 95. I mean, when you're single file. Oh, no, 63 was loose. No, the 63 was loose before. And I think you're right. He took the air off the back part of the car, got the car free. And because of that, spun him out. But this ain't over up front. We're getting a bunch of dicey moves from the 95 right now live.
Yeah, live action. Miller's up the track. Lap traffic in Medina looks to be a turtle, or at least hide like a turtle, I should say, and move out of the way. He does stay high side to the middle. Conklin moves up the second as they all try and sort themselves quickly around the track fix. Same for Kolmacheski, as right now it is Roman back to the race lead. DeCiani just lost a little bit of help now in the middle. Miller's going for the lead again. Look at the wash up to the wall.
Yeah, that car's just pushing real tight right now. Everybody, I think, is starting to feel that car start to struggle. Remember that we had the caution come out with 92 laps to go was whenever we got that caution back. So because of that, now that means that these cars have been out here for, let's see that stint if we can. The stint says 57, 56, 46, is that right? 46 and 57, so a couple cars may have came down a little sooner. 48 for most. Because of that, these cars are on really old tires. They're going to be having some difficulty hanging on to the race car in big packs like this if they're pushing 100%.
So, again, well in the window. Stops are very much impending here. Conklin thought about a move to the outside for the time being. No one's putting their hands out quite yet with them hoping and seeing where the strategy plays out. Conklin might be...
Holy cow!
How in the world has Conklin still survived? He's got damage. He's nearly spun 4 times tonight.
Yeah, man, I don't like his odds after all these contacts. He's driving the wheels off the thing though, keeping it straight. Look at the blocks by the 95 going up to the top to block the outside line. He goes right back down to the bottom into the corner, and he's going to be able to maintain. All right, we know Vroman. He's one of the most aggressive drivers out there, and he's able to win races, but he's got to block like hell if he's going to try and win this race.
Yeah, there goes Miller again, pushing to the outside. And again, we know how committed he is to try and get himself some wins. How sweet it would be if he was to win for a new grouping of drivers. Oh, wow. Conklin again washes up. Look who's also joined in the fray up here yet again. Dustin Hall, we talked about the battle for the Lucky Dog. He's regrouped in the Team Conti car. And I know he's been picking up some attention here. Dustin Hall, usually a crew chief, having to dig to be able to find a lot of these spots here late.
Hey, this is my favorite part of the race, man. You're right. They have to dig, trying to grab all the spots you can get. And you hear that a lot on radio nowadays when they're coming off pit road. You don't normally hear it on the racetrack, but holy cow. Oh, Conklin tries to get to the top lane. He's not able to do it. 10 car was there.
Here we go.
The wreck of Gallimore hard into the outside wall. Collects the 10 and the 1 of Dustin Hall. 3-car crash. No caution as of yet. Still green.
Still green. Some of the drivers think the caution's out. There is no yellow. We stay green.
Oh, look out, they're probably going to wreck because of that. You got to be careful here. A lot of cars are slowing down all throughout the field. Only 6 cars are in this lead pack. The 6 cars are the 15 of Robert Miller. You got Vroman, Conklin, DeCiani, who's a lap down, Mesnard, and Basin. That's your entire front pack. No caution from race control.
Yeah, that is going to be something probably talked about in the motor coach. Let's see this again. Paul Gallimore. Seen the problem from the push, it got bad, but no one actually spun it. Oh, it's Conklin.
Conklin's jumped in front of him, and the 11 car got bumped from the rear end because of it. He was clear. No doubt he was able to get down, but not by much. So it's one of those incidents that is going to be talked about probably. 58 did what he could to try and maintain. He tried to go to the top, it didn't work. He went to the top, and it took out his teammate and 3 other cars. So, I mean, he's probably going to have a little bit of an enemy after the race from a few drivers, no doubt about it.
So, here is the situation now with pit stops looming. Right now, Robert Miller has to pit in the next 10 laps at the most, if that. He's the leader. Vroman second. Miller said 2 laps, actually. So how many people go with him? The 95, 58, 473, and 84 all have built up a near 3-second cushion from first up to where 6th is because of that incident. And we might see a pit party for the leaders.
Keep an eye on the back straightaway, folks. Eyes. Take a look on the back straightaway. They might choose to go down this time or next. Looks like nobody chooses to this time in the front group. Back group, I see 1 car thought about it, came back up on the racetrack.
And here's the big deal out of this. That lead group, because it's a smaller group, Kirk, is faster than those lined up in the big pack.
Yeah, the 4-car, DeCiani intentionally got up out of line since he's a lap down, and he doesn't want to help this lead pack get further away. He backs out. He's not going to help. He has teammates in that second pack, and people are coming down. Paul Hill, pit road.
Miller just said next time by, here comes the wave. And a lot of these cars trying to carry high speed. You can't cross that white line. And so far, the speed's over 100 miles an hour as they go to the cone. Did anybody speed going to the cone there? No. Pit party time for the leaders. Miller is in, and here comes the majority of the pack, but not too many from his pack. The Ryko cars leave him out, and we have a spin. Mesnard's in the grass.
Multiple cars coming back at the racetrack. That's Jedi Taylor coming up, trying to avoid it. More cars are going to be. They went too fast into turn 3. A lot of them couldn't make it. A couple cars got DQ'd because of it. No caution.
DQ for Mesnard. Black flag, Clayton Hoffman again. A couple drivers definitely got some unsafe pit entries and will have to be reviewed likely with race control. A couple cars crossed the white line with how quick they were going. But Vroom leads. Let's break this down. You called a lot of it. Mesnard was a spark, but the flames were behind him.
Yeah, they came down into the pit area, and the thing is that white line is a transition. If you go over that white line, you get half of your tires up on a banking, and it just sets the car sideways. Spinning. Does he save it? He goes through the grass, but the car behind the 60 car gets it way worse. Take a look at the 60 at Jedi Taylor. If we can't get a camera on him, a little bit, like half a second back. Take a look at this. Came down pit road and just hit that apron, spun out, and he went back up on a racetrack when a pack was coming by, and luckily all of them avoided it.
At least 2 or 3 of our cars had issues. There's the reason Hoffman got the speeding. He nearly plowed the 4, so Hoffman just cost himself a chance for the win. Next cars are saying pitting in 3 laps at the most. Right now, Avila's in front of your leaders. Galata, amongst those, in fact, passed on by 2. He's already pit, but lost a lot of his help with the way things have shuffled here.
Oh man, it's gotten so complicated. The whole race, we've been able to actually see the whole pack in one big group, but now the whole entire field is spread out all over the racetrack, all on different strategies. Some folks are down pit road, some folks are still on old tires, some are on new tires trying to get back up towards the front. The eventual lead is still in question. I don't even know who it might be.
There's the stint lengths hearing that some of the Conti cars just caught a pit stop. Benefield this time in particular is the one calling it. He's got Owens with them. Alex Coffey is in the top 10 right now. Here's the funny thing about the 54. Haven't mentioned him the entire day, and he just hit Owens leading, and I guess that's a way of passing somebody. Owens is way conservative.
Yeah, you don't want to wreck the cars. You want to pass as much as you can under that area and slam on the brakes heading into the pit road, which is what I'm seeing right now. I'm looking all over this racetrack, and there's just packs of cars, all single file. Some of them are moving forward, some are not. I'm looking at Nicholas Vroman right now. He is leading this thing right now on the racetrack. He still needs to pit 65 laps on his tires. You'll see him in within the next 9 laps, most certainly. But looking at the field, it looks like the first car that is actually on fresh tires looks to be, I believe, Robert Miller. Yep.
Miller is going to be an interesting one with this situation. Here comes Vroom Vroom. Here comes the rest of the main cars in the pack. Cochran and Basin join him. Viola had a bit of a slide, so did Roman, as there they go to the cone. Ralph Hutchinson, Lucas Hoitzma, and company. We have one in the grass. It's Avila.
The 63 sitting the wrong way in the grass. He keeps it straight. No caution yet either. 63 was sitting sideways in the grass. Contact sent him around on the exit of the corner. If we can get a camera on 63, I think.
Yeah. There it is.
A little bit further back. Here we go. Going on pit road.
Yeah, I thought they were okay. Obviously not here.
What the? That was weird. Up front.
Right now, it's the 19 who leads. The 97, 48, 29 are the only cars left to not pit. And they've picked up a lot of lap cars in this mix. They've also got Komacheski to slow them. Right now, your net leader is Nicholas Vroman. He, Conklin, and Basin have a 4-second gap over everyone. Here's the thing. These cars in this pack have a decent shot at it too, depending on how things go once they come on pit road. We'll say here, Kirk. Going to be tough for a couple of the drivers in that lead group to lead, like Basin. But Hodgson just indicated from this pack, heading in. Tanner Marti heading in. A lot of these cars are at their limit at 70 laps, 22 to go this upcoming time by. Can the RHM/Black Flag cars play it out? Only one of them came down.
Oh my goodness gracious, this has just turned into a chaos at the end of the race. Not for wrecks, not for anything like that. It's just for, like, how on earth are we supposed to look at this and understand what's going on? They're all over the dang place. People slamming on the brakes, trying to make it down pit road. We'll see if he gets a penalty for that.
10 with the slide, Black Flag, another speeding penalty. That was while he was trying to hold on to the lead group. We have one magical fuel-saving tree for Lucas Hoitzma. That's it left out of those in the cycle. All those who have pit are still trying to take the service. Ralph Hutchinson still in the box. Tanner Marti just completed it. The 95 is looking to zoom on by some of those cars right now. So right now, Nicholas Vroman, we can tell you this, is right now still well in the driver's seat. Now, the question is, with the two Ryko cars with damage, can they outpower one clean car?
You know, I think right now these three cars, they got 20 laps to go. The gap from them dropping back to the cars that they have got to beat, we'll find out here in just a moment. It's so dang close. But I think that the drivers that's really going to be involved here at the end of this thing, Dyson. He's right now pushing the 81 car of Brandon Hastings. Hastings leading that line. He's going to be the one to try and catch Basin. Right now, looking at that list, you can see the gap. That gap is still kind of sorting out because they had the leaders come down, and it takes a minute for the system to recognize it. I think it's about 3 seconds, maybe 2.5 seconds. Yep, 3 seconds. So because of that gap right there, that's what they got to overcome in 19 laps. If they can, they might have a chance to win the race. If they don't, Roman, Conklin, and Basin will be running away with this thing.
So a lot of math and a lot of thoughts to go through. The pace for this pack closing in is starting to pick up. They are faster, as you can see. It's 2.9 seconds to the gap. Brandon Hastings is the one leading that next pack. They were in the 29.4s last time. The lead group just turned into 29.5s. It's going to be close. They have a shot here. There is a chance this gets wild.
I think that right now, looking at the math, all right, with 18 laps to go, they need to gain at least 1/10 a lap, 1.6 tenths a lap. So right now, the last time by, it was 0.187. They need a 0.161. This time by, it is 2. They're going to get there. They're going to get there in no time.
And all it takes is getting within 1 second or so of the draft also. Oh, problem! Well, there goes that chance for Hastings. What would have been one of the stories of the day. Hastings instead's in the barrier. And that's, I guess, a way for Daiso to lead his pack.
Yeah, road course guy right there. He's able to win on anything, though. Gave him a push in the wrong spot, sends him around hard in the inside wall. Man, I hate seeing that. Dang it.
Hastings meatball flag as well from that contact. So from the track to victory lane is not going to happen today. But one of the drivers we haven't even talked about, who was a top 4 driver last year, who was quiet at Daytona, has just loudly stepped up here. Andrew Dyson is now the leader of this pack. He's with Team Conti this season, and he is flying, and he's bringing the Precision Speed Solutions machine of Alex Coffey with him on the pushes.
I think he's going to get there. I think they're going to get there, and they're going to get there with like 8 to go. By my calculations, 8 laps to go. Let me see this time by. Hang on, let's see. If it's more than 3/10, it'll be like 10 laps to go. Let's see, what is that? It's at, nope, half a tenth, a second, tenth and a half. Might be 8 laps, 5 laps to go in that range. They'll catch the back bumper. But once they catch that draft, it will close up even more, so it might be 10 laps. So we'll see. We're 14 laps to go now.
All these drivers are looking and saying, let's push, let's push, let's push, let's push. There is one factor here to think about too. In case there is a bit of fall off, I don't think they're going to get there. There is lap traffic up the road, but the pace isn't falling enough to the point where they will get caught by that lead group. So there isn't that saving grace. Not as big of a gain this time. They equalized out actually to the leaders, but they are just about in drafting range. That would make everything mute here, Kirk, in terms of that discussion on close up, because once they get locked into that second, they can try and build the run, charge to the middle, and see if they can zip around to take over the race lead with this race coming late.
Yeah, they're going to get there soon. They got another lapper there on the outside. You're going to see him come by Dustin Hall on the top side there. They're going to have to get around him. Easy peasy, no problem. He's not going to come up and block. But this race was really brought to a weird position, all because of no caution being called by race control when there was contact with the 10 car. Paul Gallimore and a few more cars got sent up into the wall, and it sent us into this alternate reality where now it's all about making sure that you can get towards the front. Now, whether or not we make it to the end is all dependent on these drivers. One caution can change everything. They're going to get there now. This lap, this is 10 laps to go. I told you they're going to get there with 10 laps to go. They're going to hit the draft this lap.
Here we go. 10 to go. Last year, it was Nolan Hodgson, remember, who picked up his first win in the FLCC that eventually catapulted to a chance with Renko for this season with how he built momentum from this start of the season, which eventually went to races at Texas, wins at tracks like Texas should say. Now, the question is, which team catapults some momentum in the early going into this next stretch of races this time? The draft is picked up. They're within the 1 second. Daiso just went over 188 miles an hour. He looks to set fire on the pace. In fact, he's ran away from the 54. He doesn't even need the pushes anymore.
Yeah. I think that what we're going to see is that 41 catch the back bumper of the 84. Now, what is Basin thinking right now? He knows he's going to get caught. Now, he wants to control the situation. He does not want to be trapped on the bottom. I think that 84 will do whatever it takes to go to the top when that 41 eventually gets there. Now, the rest of the field, it just is a matter of time. We're coming down to the end of this thing. 7 to go when they hit the line. No telling what's going to happen in the next 7 laps.
One of these drivers block off the run about to happen. Let's find out. Dyson's got it locked in. Big chance. 3-4 miles an hour quicker. Dyson, I think, actually lifted off. They're in the range, but nobody took the gamble.
Man, I don't like that decision. Hopefully it'll work out for him, but...
Oh, look at that.
There he goes.
All
look
3.
That was awesome.
That could have been ugly. All 3 cars blocked at the same time. That sees Basin with the damage shuffled. Dyson to 3rd. Now Coffey all over the bumper. He looks to try and push ahead. Let's see who makes the move this time for the back straightaway.
I mean, where did he come from? Andrew Dyson all day, nowhere near the front of this pack, but now that Australian there is on the door of that 58. He's got a shot to win this thing.
5 laps to go. Dyson now your biggest mover with all things shaken up, plus 27. Coffee staying to the bottom, but look up top. Miller trying to help out him. Benefield out. Benefield pulls on the side draft on Coffee. Will they get a chance to boost ahead? They picked up Delaney also up there.
Adam Benefield, my God, trying to make that outside line work. He was so angry. He finished 3rd yesterday in the Friday Night Lights, but now he's going for the lead to the outside, the 80. Oh, wow, 3 wide for 2nd place. Not going to work for him. He's going to lose all the help he had there.
Squeezing 3 wide. That shuffles out another Ryko car. There goes Conklin to shuffle. So with that, Dyson's up to 2nd. Still with that, Benefield reset to be able to lead the outside groove. Look at this backup. Big run coming up for the race lead. It goes to the bumper instead. The outside still not formed up, under 3 to go.
Oh, man, it's coming down to the end of this thing. Man, I'm shaking. I'm getting excited. Look at this. They're going to try to make that work. Oh, they're so close. They're side drafted hard. Here comes a big run from the 41. Gives them a shot. They check up a little bit. 83 has no one pushing them right now. They're going to have the lapper. Look out. Almost squeezed into the lapper car. The Coffee almost squeezed Benefield as we come to get 2 laps to go this time.
2 laps to go. Over 3 miles to go. There goes the move for Alex Coffey. He's got nobody to help him, though. Nobody willing to push. Now, a look for Dyson. Has Conklin on his bumper. Vroman continues to hold on, coming to the white flag. As there goes Dyson having a lift.
Yeah, he got a shot from the 58. He gets up out of the groove, and now white flag. 1 lap to go here from Echo Park. They are 3 wide behind the leader. Nobody is willing to just figure it out. Still 3 wide as they head into 1 and 2.
Here they go for the back straight away. Vroman hugs the inside. Dyson in the sucker hole. Not too much up outside. They ping pong. Here comes Miller. He tries to get up. Conklin tries to move up. Nobody's been able to get around Vroman this entire run. It's going to be the Conti car. Nicholas Vroman who gets the win at Echo Park. So what a finale. Dyson just got a disqualification for incident points before the flag.
I cannot believe what I just saw. The last 40 laps of this race, you couldn't ride it. Vroman, first race where he doesn't run that garbage pink paint scheme, he wins it. I think that's an omen. Don't wear that pink paint scheme no more, guy. He's got this. Purple Vroman, he's in a position now where I cannot believe what I just saw. What a hell of a run by Nicholas Vroman.
I love how he picked the farming simulator paint scheme for tonight, and it was the opposite of being a farming simulator in terms of a smooth, nice drive over a cornfield. No, this was a high-octane jet fight for much of the night. It's Nicholas Vroman who picks up his first win of the season. One of the best drivers from last year, a contender for the championship, showing why he'll be a contender again this year.
He got in a position where he was leading the race and everybody else behind him was screwing each other over, so much so that he was able to run away with it. It kind of reminds me of Austin Hill's win in Daytona last week. He was leading the race, he was in control, and everybody behind him tried to screw each other over, make moves, try to do whatever it is. But now he's able to win it, and that's just how it is. I love this racing series. The full-length Cup Challenge, it's the place to be if you're on iRacing. If you want to be a NASCAR top-tier driver, you come to the full-length Cup Challenge. And if you succeed here, you're one of the top drivers in the whole sim, in my opinion. One hell of a race. Great job to that 95. He just blew his motor. There you go.
What a race here at Echo Park / Atlanta as Nicholas Vroman, nobody could pass him late. The middle line couldn't develop. The third line couldn't develop. 3 wide, 4 rows deep, couldn't get a pass around. In the end, the 95 was just able to hug the inside over Conklin and Delaney in the end. Miller and Coffey get top 5s. Benefield over base. Then Stephen Williams was the last car in that pack. Then look at that at 9th. Dave Hoytsma.
Yeah.
One of his best races
That's
ever
awesome.
in FLCC over Paul Hill.
That was awesome. Dave Hoytsma, top 10. Let's go. That was awesome. There you go. Thank you so much. That's so cool. Tanner Marty will get 11th tonight. Great recovery. He got in a couple of wrecks early on. Tanner Marty, Tyler Hunter in 12th. Top 15s for these guys. Lucas Hoytsma comes home in 13th. 14th, Ralph Hutchinson. Joseph Galata had a good shot there at the end. Unfortunately, had problems, and he will get 15th. 16th, Devin Medeiros. 17th, William Owens. 18th, Casey Graves had a chance at the air at the end, but had contact. Paul Galmore also involved in an incident there at the end, 19th. And 20th, Andrew Dyson, because he got DQ'd out of the final corner, finishes 20th.
21st, Matt DeCiani over Cody Johnson, a lap down. Also one down was Chad Center. Then Jedi Taylor looked to have speed today, but finished 2 laps down over Clayton Hoffman and Johnny Avila. Noah Hodgson tried something different, couldn't recover from the different strategy in stage 2, finished 30 laps down in 27th. Hall, Truel, and Medina, your top 30.
Alrighty, finishing in 31st will be Alan Duggar. Had a good showing, but had problems late. Same thing with Brandon Hastings. Had a good shot. He was going to be in a position to win the race if he was able to not get turned by the 41. 41 ends his day, gets him 32nd. Thomas Komacheski showed speed early, had problems, got sent to the back. Then Matthew David Wood had a chance of fighting for the first stage win, but unfortunately had some issues. Finishes 27 laps down. Evan Mesnard also was pretty quick early on, but had some problems in the middle of the second stage, drops back to 35th. Bobby Anderson, again, early on, had speed, drops back to 36. All these guys had speed in the back. Holy cow. Tommy Gossett, also 37th, 94 laps down. Derek Heitman, I thought was like good shot to win the dang thing. Got in a wreck. Cody Porter and Neil Pearson, all a part of the same conversation. Had speed, got in a wreck, got taken out.
So what a race in the very end of this one. A wild night from the start. But in the end, only one driver could take home the checker flag, and that went the way of Vroom Vroom. So as we get ready for this coverage, we have the driver standing on by. What start things off with a driver who decided to drive a farming simulator paint scheme tonight and was able to farm away a victory. Nicholas Vroman, you get the win tonight here in the FLCC. Your first win of the season. What was kind of going through your mind as it was 3 wide behind you and they still couldn't pass you?
Honestly, I had such a good car. Like, a couple of those guys behind me had damage. And I just had so much more turn than them, like through the center of the corner, and I would just gap them by quite a bit. I really had to screw the pooch if we were not going to win that, honestly. That's what I was kind of feeling like. I felt like we had it won, and we were able to get it off, get the dub.
And with this type of a race tonight, how would you describe the feel of this package compared to last year's race where we've seen it be a different flavor? Tonight, it felt like a much more wilder run here with some of the updates to the draft model.
I hate this package. I hate this car now. I hate the package. I hate everything about it. I wish we could go back to the old one. I'm just not a fan of this package. It was a little wild. I think some of it was just people getting loose or something. I don't really know what happened. I know I got to look at the Villa wreck when he was in front of me. I think he got loose a little bit before I got to him, but it was a little wild. But I hate this package.
Well, on the bright side, your reward for hating this package and not liking the super speedways is you get to go road course racing next. How do you feel about Coda coming up in terms of that schedule, in terms of the slots here when we go racing for the Outlaw 375?
I'm a pretty decent road racer. Of course, if Sean Conklin shows up and Dyson shows up, I think the rest of us are probably racing for third. But I feel pretty confident. I think we can get a top 5. Definitely got to put some laps in. I haven't ran a road course in this car in a long time, so But I think we're shooting for a solid top 5 next week, and I think we can get it done.
On that note, anyone you want to give a shout out to in your machine here tonight?
Before I give any shout outs, I do again want to apologize to Johnny Avila, man. That I hate that. That's just a very unfortunate situation between me and him. I just wish that didn't happen. So again, I want to say sorry to him. But shout out to EPI, man. EPI was under the hood tonight. So, Jarrett Liebert and the guys built a hell of a set here at Atlanta. Shout out to Team Conti. I'm racing under their banner. So shout out to Team Conti, Adam Benefield, Dyson, Brandon Hastings, and what's the other guy's name? It's what the hell? Give me a second. Dustin.
This is your teammate.
Shout out. I'm terrible with names. Shout out to all them guys, man. Shout out to all them guys, man. I feel like we worked well as a team, especially that second stint with Pete, my spotter, man. We were crunching numbers on being able to stretch it there at the end, and we did pretty good job with that. So good team run tonight, man. And shout out to you guys up here in the booth. I'm sure it was an exciting one to call with all the chaos early on.
Well, congratulations on the win here tonight, and we'll see what type of paint scheme you have next week. Are you bringing Farming Simulator back or paint car?
We're going back paint, man. This one's getting tired.
Oh,
no! We won on it. We won. We're going to stay one and done on the Farming Simulator 25. We're going back to the chrome pink. I'm sorry, Kurt. We're going back, though.
Oh. Man, that's the worst paint scheme in the field.
Well, Kirk said it, not me. But congratulations on the win tonight, Nick.
Appreciate it, guys.
So, Nicholas Roman coming away with a run. On that note, Sean Conklin, who was the driver who led the most laps now for 2 consecutive weeks, he's able to get a second tonight. He's with Kirk.
Hey, Sean, man, I haven't had a chance to talk to you before, man. Congratulations getting second place tonight. Obviously, it's not what you wanted at the end of the day, but, man, you had control of this race from start all the way up to the end, and you had a couple contacts that damaged the car, but I got to ask you, man, how do you feel about the whole dang day? Did you have fun?
I had an entire time. There were so many different opportunities to take different runs and lanes and just do all sorts of different strategies, including fuel saving. We had a little fuel saving segment in there, but yeah, it was awesome. I love controlling the lanes, being out front, trying, everything you can to stay out front and just throwing some crazy blocks, but making sure they're clean. Don't want to throw any dirty ones, which I don't think we did tonight, which was good. And yeah, I had a blast out there. So yeah, thank you to all those guys putting this on, and can't wait for next week.
There was a point in this race I wanted to actually ask you about. You were leading along with Basin at the front of the field during that time when you had to save some gas, and your teammate, the 10 car, was way further back in the field. You guys, it looked like you guys were syncing up and slow down, saving gas to the point where that entire line checked up and that 10 car looked like a dang superhero, passed everybody and took the lead. Was that a plan or was that something that you saw happening? Did you remember that?
Yeah, that wasn't a plan. The fuel saving definitely was a plan, try to slow down the field, and if the people want to pass you, they pass you, and if they pass you, they give you a tow and you save more fuel. So honestly, that's kind of a win-win situation. And I mean, yeah, anybody was open to go to the outside and pass us at any point. That's what I was kind of trying to get to happen so we could save some fuel. But no, Tommy just sent that thing around the outside. Just saw to check up, and he was not waiting around for it. He didn't say anything actually. We looked up and saw in our mirrors because he just said a quick hello, just like very menacingly, and we looked in our mirrors and he's coming up 20 miles an hour faster. So yeah, that definitely wasn't a plan, but it was pretty cool to see him go. I think it was like 14th or something all the way up to first. So that
in less than a lap. Yeah, I just thought it was one of the highlights of the races. I'd never seen that before. It felt like that Kyle Busch on a restart in the old Busch Clash back in like 2010 when he flew by the whole field on a restart. It was night and day. It was awesome. But anyway, man, congrats on getting second. Anybody you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to shout out Ryco Performance, Gossip Bus Lines, KB Engineering, Rennie Bell Construction, Best One Tire, and just all the guys putting this league on was like incredible racing tonight. Glad we got one round of green flag pit stops in finally. It just seems like all these super speedway races I've done have just not had green flag pit stops, and we got one here at Atlanta finally. I think that's the first one that I've ever done here, so it was pretty fun. Just being able to experience so many different types of strategies. So yeah, just thank you to all those guys putting this on. Thank you guys for having me, and thank you guys for broadcasting.
Yeah, Sean, thank you again so much for coming and talking with us. One last question before I let you go. I just thought about it. Right now, you have a good shot if you continue to show up to the races to possibly go for a championship. However, you are not a tier one, chartered car. You're somebody out there who, at any given week, if you have a problem in qualifying or can't make qualifying, you can miss a race. I just want to ask you what your thoughts are on that and what your plan is. Are you going to try and go for a championship, or are you just going to try and run a handful of races here and there? What's your plan long run?
I mean, I would love to go for the championship. I currently don't know how this is gonna like get in the way of my real life racing schedule. I don't currently know that yet. So the plan as a tier 3 charter was just to be part-time here and try it out, and it's a great league. It's a whole lot of fun. I would love to go for the championship if the time allows me to, and obviously for qualifying. I mean, each week you put in the practice and the laps, and or you cannot make qualifying, like you said, and that could put a big wrench in your plans. So yeah, we'll see. We'll just keep running the season. I'll run whatever races that I can, and just keep enjoying it.
Well, thanks, Sean. I hope to talk to you soon another time, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again for coming out and racing tonight. It was fun watching.
Thank you.
Back to you, Justin.
Nicely done for second place tonight. Jonathan Delaney, your top driver in Super Speedway in 2025, is able to come with the top 3 here this evening. Delaney, let's talk things through about your night here tonight, because it was definitely one of those evenings where we seen you up at the front, but only 5 laps led. Talk to us throughout your perspective tonight.
Yeah, it was a crazy one. We were up, it was up and down all night, up and down, up and down. Kind of started mid-pack in the field, started to work our way up front, got in a wreck. Kind of stayed in the back, got in another wreck, kept driving around, got in another wreck, and at like lap 55 I was at 10x, and only 7x away from DQing out with close to a minute of damage. So my hopes weren't up too big. I didn't think we were going to finish the race, but we stayed pretty safe, kind of just running the race how it went. Made the right pit calls on and off pit road. Avoided some more wrecks, and ultimately at the end, we had that kind of wreck for no caution that kind of spread the pack out a little bit, and we made a pretty clean and timely mannered pit stop under green, and we were able to kind of bunch back up the top 10, and those last couple laps, it was either stay in the back and hope they wreck and don't get DQ'd, or fight for the win, and if we get DQ'd, we get DQ'd. And I wanted to fight for the win and try and get as many points as I could, rather than just lay back. So I went up Trafford lead, found ourselves on the last lap within the top 5, and we were able to come home away third. Pretty happy about it. And last week was kind of a bummer for us, being in again multiple wrecks there at Daytona. But I'm happy to come away with a third place finish. We didn't get any stage points, but I'm happy with third, and I think we finished 13th last week. So yeah, I'm happy about it, and I'm glad this race is done. And not really looking forward to next week either, but I'm just waiting till we can get on a mile and a half, an actual mile and a half that actually races pretty good. So, yeah.
Yeah. So before we get to the next conversation point here, of course, you're a part of the team shuffles coming into originally the FLCC 500. Now it's a couple races in. Now working with that alliance with the Black Flag Machines. What's that alliance been like for you so far? Because I know you were a huge proponent of that situation originally. How were those alliances were going to go? That was a talking point, I know, behind the scenes throughout the offseason.
Yeah. It was a very last minute change. It was an offer that was given to come over to Black Flag and fill a seat. And I worked with a lot of the Black Flag guys before, Jason, Sean, Dylan, and some other guys. So I knew it was the right fit for me. And as I came over, there were other guys like Ralph and Lucas, who were my teammates last year, were interested in coming over as well. And they were given an offer and thought it'd be the best decision for them to come over as well. And so they disbanded their team and disbanded the alliance they were working with. So yeah, I'm really happy how everything turned out and came out of our team this year. I think we're going to be in a really good contention for the team championship again this year, and I think we'll be just good for the driver championship as well. But myself, I didn't make it into the Final Four last year, but one of our teammates, Lucas Hoysma, got in last year, and we were able to get him the win. So I think this year's going to be really good. It's a long season, though, so just got to take it week by week. And yeah, I'm really happy. And yeah.
That in mind here, road course racing next week. I'll ask this question as well. How confident are you in your speed at Circuit of the Americas?
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. It's not one of my favorite road courses, but I think I've done pretty well there over the years. We'll have to see how it races, if it's changed at all. I don't know if I'm pretty sure some of the track limits got changed, so you might be able to push the car a little bit further than you were before. Use some more of the off track rumble strips and all that stuff. So it's just gonna be a matter of practicing, getting used to the car, getting comfortable, getting braking zones down, and really just maximizing as much speed as you can out of the vehicle. I know I'm probably not going to be in contention for win. And I'd be happy with top 5, even a top 10. I think we can just go ahead and say Andrew Dyson's going to probably win that race. So, road courses are my favorite, but they're on the schedule. And same thing with super speedways. They aren't my favorite either, but they're on the schedule, and we got to race them. So, we'll see about next week.
Any shout you'd like to give here tonight?
Yeah, just everyone on the team, Black Flag, for helping out. We were really fast this week. Car was very fast, but a little edgy. Yeah, it was good. Had good teamwork all night too. So shout out to all them. Shout out Logan Sheets for being on the box, helping out with pit road adjustments and pit strategies. And thank you guys for broadcasting this, and all the admins that put this league together, Bryson, Jason, and Bobby. And that's all I got for you guys. Appreciate it.
Congratulations on the run here tonight, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Jonathan Delaney rounds out our top 3 discussions. Like to thank the entire top 3 for speaking with us during post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. Your final thoughts on tonight, Kirk, as in the very end, it was a wild one to start, calmed down a little bit towards the end, but in the end, nobody could find a way around that 95 who is holding that inside line, even with the whole pack gaining up on them.
Yeah, he said it himself. I gotta say, that car was in a position where he could have no damage, and everybody else around him kind of did, but also they were screwing each other over behind him. Some guy would try to make a move, and the car behind him would try to take advantage of that new open gap, and that would create three-wide racing coming to the white flag, and you can't really do much with that. But, man, at the end of the day, this race had everything. Had big wrecks, had fuel save, had green flag pit stops. I say this is, in my opinion, the quintessential NASCAR race of the modern day. This is the best thing you can do when you have modern day racing. This is just baseline of what I call a good race. Easily an 8.5 out of 10 for me. I had a good fun time watching and even better time commentating, but at the end of the day, Perlman taking the win. Well deserved. Great win.
And remember, the next time out for this series is going to be an interesting time because it's the Outlaw 375. That's the current name listed for next week's event. Circuit of the Americas, the West layout is the current layout for that race. It'll be a 95-lapper from Austin, Texas. Coverage starts again at approximately 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll be able to keep that coverage up on the 28th. I'll be away myself for that one, as I'll be in a town in Florida. But these drivers will be looking to try and see if they can do well in the state that sees big things happen in Texas. But in the end, we'd like to say goodbye. I'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage of the FLCC. For our producer, Howie Burrows, my co-announcer tonight, and Kirk Mills, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Be sure to follow along with our social media pages to keep up with the action and follow on so you don't miss any races. Speaking of which, we'll see you next time out for that next race. We go to COTA. Good night, everyone, for tonight's coverage on Maconi Entertainment from